support.
In sports, Mona collect Manning Cup trophy and are now battling Clarendon College for all-island supremacy.
And later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, NEPA says it has taken enforcement action against the operator of one facility following a fish kill in the Harbour Head area of Kingston. The agency's CEO Peter Knight and the Director of Environmental Management and Conservation Anthony Mackenzie will join us.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, would you support the introduction of hate speech laws in Jamaica? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
At 7, as the Christmas season approaches, the country's premier mental health institution, Bellevue Hospital, is appealing to families to visit their loved ones at the institution. The hospital's CEO, Suzette Buchanan, will join us.
And at 8, it's Boyatings After Dark with Kareem, Boyatings Weathers.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and on the Nationwide app, available on Google Play and the App Store, this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday, December 13, 2023.
News at 5 teasers were brought to you by Advanced Scales and Equipment. Service is our total commitment.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The lead investigating officer in the murder trial of Everton MacDonald has detailed for the court how he apprehended the Portland businessman. Beachy Stout was arrested on August 5, 2020 at his business place in Port Antonio, Portland. He was arrested on reasonable suspicion for the murder of his second wife, Tonya Hamilton MacDonald, on July 20, 2020. Beachy Stout and another man, Oscar Barnes, are on trial in the Home Circuit Court for Tonya's murder. Robian Williams was in court.
Beachy Stout became a suspect in his wife's murder after the convicted contract killer turned state witness, Denverlin Bubla Minot, gave a statement to the police. The lead investigator said Bubla incriminated himself when he uttered these words under caution, quote, "Officer, we carry you go to the area where me meet the man, where me get for kill me smack and him cut our throat," end quote. The man being referred to here is Oscar Barnes. Barnes was arrested a few hours before Beachy Stout was apprehended. Bubla reportedly led a police team to a Notta Bay in St. Mary, where he pointed out Barnes to the police. 2 houses and a motorcar belonging to Barnes were searched by the police. The lead investigator said the team proceeded to Port Antonio to Beachy Stout's supermarket, Mary Shine Enterprise, to apprehend him. When cautioned, Beachy Stout reportedly asked the arresting officer, quote, "Am I being arrested? Am I being charged for murder?" End quote. At that point, the lead detective informed him that he was a suspect in Tonya's murder. He was then escorted to a police service vehicle and transported to a lockup in St. Andrew. Prior to his arrest, Beachy Stout's house in Dolphin Bay, Portland, was searched on August 3, 2020. According to the police witness, Beachy Stout asked that 2 of his female associates be present during the search of his house. That request was reportedly granted. The police witness said nothing incriminating or unlawful was found at the matrimonial home. The trial will resume on Thursday morning. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
Lawmakers on the Joint Select Committee examining the Jamaica Teaching Council bill successfully argued for a narrowing of the list of offences that could see a teacher being disqualified from continuing to serve the profession. This despite a robust defence of the range of offences included in the bill from CEO of the Jamaica Teaching Council, Dr. Winsome Gordon. We have more in this report from Dana Davey.
The original wording of the bill would see a teacher barred from the profession for a crime as low-grade as larceny of a dog. The CEO of the Jamaica Teaching Council, Dr. Winsome Gordon, says such an infraction by a member of the teaching profession ought to be met with a tough penalty.
Teaching is a profession that is set up to bring up a set of human beings, and to bring up a set of human beings with certain values, certain accepted values. And when those values are breached, they are breached. It is a breach of professional conduct. And so we don't want to look at it and say, this is small and this is big and this is medium size. There's a breach of professional conduct, and that has consequences. Because the teacher has a fundamental responsibility to the nation to bring up the children of the nation with certain values and morals and understanding of relationships and how we survive as a sustainable society.
The MP for North Trelawney, Tova Hamilton, agreed with Dr. Gordon on the importance of professional values. But she believes certain offences should not cause a teacher to be barred from continuing in the profession.
What Dr. Gordon just mentioned, yes, I can identify the values that must be imparted to children. But the revocation is not the only mechanism under the legislation that can deal with offenses. So we are now talking about permanently removing somebody from a classroom. If the offense is not one that is particularly egregious and there are other disciplinary actions that can be taken, remember the person can be suspended for a particular period of time. Now that removal in and of itself, I think, sends a message. I just don't see why we should remove a teacher for some of these offenses that have been highlighted.
The point was made that a teacher could end up being kicked out of the profession for an offence such as accidentally participating in a fish kill. Government Senator Cavan Gale says that's a ridiculous proposition.
Yesterday there was a report in the media about a fish kill in the Bagua Gorge. So suppose a teacher may have been involved accidentally in a fish kill. It speaks to fish kill.
So it would bar that person?
It would bar the person. So I'm saying that there are some offenses that are contained under what is being proposed that stretches itself too far in barring the person from becoming a teacher or from continuing to teach. And I would suggest that we consider those that are egregious in nature, those that are violent in nature, as part of the first instance of consideration.
The committee members agreed ultimately to a narrowing of the list of offences, which would result in a teacher being disqualified from the profession. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
Education Minister Favour Williams says she expects nothing but good behaviour from players, fans and stakeholders when the curtain comes down on the schoolboy football season with the battle for the Olivier Shield at the National Stadium. The clash between Manning Cup kings Mona High and Acosta Cup heroes Clarendon College kicked off at the top of the hour. We have more in this report from Mahiri Stewart.
Minister Williams's comment follows unsavory scenes at the National Stadium last week when Mona High beat Hydel to secure their first ever hold on the Manning Cup title. The post-match trophy presentation was ruined after jubilant Mona players ran off with the trophy at the full-time whistle and fans invaded the pitch, refusing to leave as directed by organizers and the police. There was also bad blood at the end of the Walker Cup final at the same venue, where supporters and backroom staff from the St. Andrew Technical High School team had to be dragged away from police as they sought to confront match officials they felt caused their team to lose the penalty shootout and the title to Jamaica College. Minister Williams's comment also comes in wake of the unruly behavior from some Mona students who stormed the entrance to the Jamaica College on Old Hope Road in St. Andrew, hurling expletives at security personnel as they participated in a motorcade to celebrate the school's crowning sporting achievement. According to Minister Williams, today's event at the National Stadium turf must be all about sportsmanship.
I'm imploring our students to exercise all the qualities of sportsmanship that they are taught in the sport. First time, odds-defying Manning Cup winner, Mona High School, let's give them the credit. They will be competing aggressively against, again, many times, the Costa Cup champion and most dominant schoolboy football team, Clarendon College. And they're going for that, I would say, the symbol of schoolboy supremacy.
Minister Williams made a direct appeal to the players and those connected to the rival teams to be on their best behavior.
We already know the history of these two schools, and we know that spirits are going to be high, very high, among spectators on both sides. And so I'm adamant that we do not want to see a repeat of what happened last Friday night when spectators stormed the field and brought about a premature end to the celebrations. So we're calling on our boys and girls, we're calling on our parents, we're calling on all spectators to remember that this is not just a national event, it is also an international event because Jamaica is on show to the rest of the world.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says Jamaican farmers have earned nearly $1 billion from the system created by the government that links them directly with hoteliers across the island. The minister made the announcement in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
As there is a partnership between the Tourism Enhancement Fund and RADA to establish an Alex platform, which is an agro-linkages exchange platform. And on that platform, Madam Speaker, ordinary farmers with 3 acres, 1 acre, 2 acre, up to 5 acre, nobody bigger than 5 acres, is on this platform. And they connect directly to the hotels. And the hotels can purchase from them on the platform, and it's delivered to them, and they are paid appropriately. And I'm proud to tell you that for the year so far, over $1 billion Jamaican dollars has been traded on that platform between small farmers, 3 to 5 acres, and hotels across Jamaica.
The Agri-Linkages Exchange, Alex platform, was launched in 2020 due to the fallout suffered by farmers and hotels alike from the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister Bartlett says the program will be expanded in the coming months. He also told Parliament that a program to provide small players in the tourism industry with development loans has been a resounding success.
Liquor people who have a little 5-room here or in Airbnb or doing a little manufacturing of ordinary curio and other items that the visitors may need. And what we have done in conjunction with Exim Bank is to provide for a maximum of $25 million loan at 4.5% interest over 25 years. And Madam Speaker, the take-up rate has been phenomenal because already they have exceeded the lending of well over, in fact, 1.5 billion. And you know why? Because the repayment by the small borrowers have been phenomenally good.
Ed Bartlett, Tourism Minister.
Meanwhile, opposition spokesperson on tourism, Senator Janice Allen, is calling for a revision of the government's tourism investment strategy. According to her, a revised strategy must include an approach to growing the industry that provides wealth creation opportunities for small players. Senator Allen says a revised strategy should also include measures to decentralize how revenue earned by the industry is then reinvested.
As was announced in the minister's statement yesterday, there is a proliferation of new investments to come between Montego Bay and Negril. And so we are seeing greater demand for the resources in these areas. And it is creating an issue. And we are seeing less and less where more of the dollar that can be spent in the industry is not being spent. What I want to see is a new type of investment, a more balanced approach to the investment type so that more restaurants, more transportation, more entertainment can benefit. So we need to come to the table and review and revisit our investment strategy so that we are not too heavily concentrated in one type within one area.
Senator Janice Allen, opposition spokesperson on tourism. Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett says the industry has directly contributed $52 billion in revenue to the government's coffers since the start of the year. Senator Allen wants to hear how those funds have been spent.
What we want to ensure is that those funds that are earned because of tourism must be invested back into tourism. So what I want to hear from the minister is exactly how, in a substantial way, we will have reinvestment in the industry, as has been called for by players in the industry who are not seeing the repayment or the reinvestment in the industry that is commensurate with what has been earned by the industry.
Senator Janice Allen, opposition spokesperson on tourism.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide 90 FM. More news after these.
It's my baby's first birthday and I'm having a big party. I've got 1,000 things to do and I have a headache. I took my dependable Advil liquid gels as always. They're strong, fast, and work well for me.
The time by Advil liquid gel is
17 minutes past 5.
Termites and rodents destroying your home or office? Call Rent-A-Kill Initial Pest Expert at 876-926-4236 for a free pest eradication assessment island-wide.
The temperature brought to you by Rent-A-Kill Initial is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Cook-a-Doo, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Shucklebuss, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for our Kiddies Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
No matter where you are, there's something about the holiday season that always pulls you home. To be with the people you love and care about.
This holiday season, let Sagicor Bank help you make that home your own with a special mortgage offer that gives you a $2 million line of credit you could use to go solar and make your home eco-friendly. Put down your roots this Christmas with an affordable mortgage from Sagicor Bank. Conditions apply.
Continuing the news, tough new traffic and vending arrangements are being implemented in some of St. Anne's main towns to prevent congestion over the festive period. The changes are set to take effect from Monday, December 18 and are due to expire on January 3, 2024. Chairman of the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, Sidney Stewart, says there was extensive consultation with the police and other agencies, including the National Solid Waste Management Authority and the Tourism Product Development Company. At a press conference on Wednesday, Mayor Stewart outlined some of the changes to be made in Brownstown.
No parking will be allowed on Main Street and the top road. This will be used for pedestrians. They're not going to be allowing any parking, either from vendors or from shoppers, along Main Street in Brownstown. Further to that, vehicles park along this corridor will be clamped and will only be released at a cost of $2,500. So during the day, you have to park for the entire day for an hour going to the town and do business. Then you are going to be paying $200 per. And if you're parking for the entire day at this complex, the cost is at $1,000.
He says certain parts of Ocho Rios will be designated no vending zones.
No vending will be allowed on Newlyn Street and Acosta Drive. All vendors should vend along Market Street until Wednesday, January 3, and the market environment notice will be posted. So we're not going to be allowing vendors, like we may have done last year, to be doing any vending on Newlyn Street. So Newlyn Street is going to be rid of all vending operation, but we'll allow them on Market Street.
Sidney Stewart, the Mayor of St. Anne's Bay.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Charles O'Connor Consulting Network Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, IACHR, has called on Guyanese authorities to protect journalist Travis Chase after he escaped an assassination attempt on Monday. Chase, a news anchor and reporter at HGP Nightly News, was shot at by a lone gunman at about 7:30 p.m., moments after he parked his car outside his aunt's home in the Guyanese capital of Georgetown. He was uninjured, but his vehicle was hit several times. Chase says he suspects the attack may be due to his reporting style. This is not the first time Chase was the victim of a crime. In 2020, his car was set on fire while parked at a government facility. No one was arrested in that matter.
The 5 Guyana Defence Force soldiers who perished when their helicopter crashed last week died from multiple injuries and severe burns. That's according to autopsies done by a government pathologist. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Shahud and Warrant Officer Class 2 Jason Khan died from multiple injuries. The body of Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, the pilot of the doomed helicopter, was so badly burnt that he had to be identified through his name tag on part of his uniform. Retired Brigadier Gary Beaton's body was also burnt, but he was identified through his upper front dentures. Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome also died because of severe burns. The cause of the crash is yet to be determined.
Further afield, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will go to the end to victory against Hamas despite international pressures. Israel's Foreign Minister Eli Cohen says the war in the Gaza Strip will continue with or without international support. He says a ceasefire at this stage would be a gift to the terrorist organization Hamas. On Tuesday, the UN General Assembly overwhelmingly adopted a non-binding resolution demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. That vote followed criticism from U.S. President Joe Biden that Israel was starting to lose global support over its indiscriminate bombing of Gaza.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour. Court hears how Beachy Stout asked a policeman if he was being charged with murder on the day he was arrested in connection with the killing of his wife.
Lawmakers say some of the offences that can cause persons to be kicked out of the teaching profession are ridiculous.
There are some offenses that are contained under what is being proposed that stretches itself too far in barring the person from becoming a teacher.
Education Minister appeals to players and fans at today's Olivier Shield clash between Mona and Clarendon College to avoid behaving like hooligans.
We do not want to see a repeat of what happened last Friday night when spectators stormed the field and brought about a premature end to the celebrations.
My name is George Davis.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News Next headlines at 6.
As the holiday season approaches, road fatalities continue to be at an unacceptable level. As a people, we must do all we can to prevent further pain and grief of loved ones from road crashes causing injuries and fatalities. Please do not drink and drive. Buckle up front and back. Motorcyclists and pillion, wear a helmet every time. Slow down and be extra careful on the roads, especially when they are wet and slippery. We are on track to enter the new year with reduced road fatalities, but we can do even better. And as Minister with responsibility for transport, I will continue to do my part to stem the loss of lives from road crashes. Let's make this holiday season not only a happy one, but a safe one on our roads. Please, we do not want you or your loved ones to become just a statistic. I wish you a peaceful and safe holiday season from my family to yours.
Waiting on your receivables, waiting to purchase raw materials to fulfill your next order, waiting to get paid for goods already sold, 60 days, 90 days, invoices way past due. What if you could be insured for up to 85% of your domestic and foreign receivables, so that if you don't get paid on time, your biggest priority, your business, will not have to wait? Trade credit insurance. Insurance worth having. Credit without waiting. Exim Bank. By helping businesses, we save lives and livelihood.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The Costa Cup champions Clarendon College and Manning Cup winners Mona High were 0-0 after 24 minutes in the Olivia Shield playoff at the National Stadium. The game is a play to the finish, which means penalties will be used to determine the winners if the teams are not separated at the end of 90 minutes. An hour before the start of today's game, Mona High were finally presented with the Manning Cup trophy. After beating Hydel last Friday in their first ever appearance in the final, Mona were forced to wait a few days after ISA cancelled the handing over of the trophy following the invasion of the pitch by fans. Big spenders Paris Saint-Germain survived a nervous night to book their spot in the round of 16 of the European Champions League. PSG came from behind to earn a 1-1 draw with Borussia Dortmund in Germany, and they finished behind the home side who topped Group F. The result means that AC Milan, who beat Newcastle United 2-1 at St James's Park, gets the Europa League spot, and the Magpies, like Manchester United before them, crashed out of Europe altogether. Champions Manchester City closed out the group stage with a perfect record after seeing off Cervena Sevilla 3-2 to top Group G as RB Leipzig stopped Young Boys to finish second. Atletico Madrid turned back Lazio 2-1 in Madrid to win Group E, and despite the defeat, Lazio will follow them to the knockout round. Group H went to FC Barcelona despite a 3-2 defeat away to Antwerp, while FC Porto's 5-2 win over Shakhtar Donetsk gave them the second spot in the group into the round of 16. West Indies star all-rounder Andre Russell says the T20 World Cup in the Caribbean and the USA next year will be his swan song from international cricket. Russell says he has already made his intentions clear to coach of the West Indies white ball teams, Darren Sammy. However, the former Clarendon College man says he's so committed to West Indies cricket, he would be prepared to come out of retirement if he is still needed by the regional side.
Based on discussion with the coach, I told him that after World Cup, I would, walk away from international cricket. But if they need me, I will come out of retirement. But that's the plan that I have. There are so many young talents here all around that's similar to myself. So sometimes you realize you're going into, 36. Just give the youngsters the opportunity. And, if West Indies still need me, I will be willing to put in the hard yards for them.
Russell was in stunning form at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados last night. He helped the West Indies beat world champions England by 4 wickets to take a 1-0 lead in their 5-match series. He bagged 3 wickets and scored an unbeaten 31 and was named the man of the match.
I love the start that I get, second over, picking up an important wicket, then start to pull it back in the middle. So I was excited to see all the guys there, trying to make sure that the plan that we discussed in the huddle came out. And, it's good to pull it back from a high-scoring game to 170. We know how good of a quality spinners England have and their bowlers. So it was good to actually restrict them and, we could have some cushion and comfort to get the score.
West Indies all-rounder Andre Russell. It was Russell's first game for the West Indies since November 2021. And the second game in the series is tomorrow at the National Stadium in St. George's, Grenada. And it's scheduled to get going at 12:30 in Jamaica time. And finally in sports at this time, CEO of the Caribbean Premier League, CPL, Pete Russell, says he's optimistic that the territorial dispute between Guyana and Venezuela will not affect the final stages of the 2024 tournament, including the final to be held in Guyana. Guyana was selected by CPL to host the final of the tournament from 2022 to 2024. Russell says it's too early to say if the increasing tensions between the two nations have caused the CPL organizers to rethink their plans for the next final, but he's hoping that will not be the case. Russell says they don't have any contingency plans at the minute, but he outlined that the CPL is monitoring the situation. CPL is usually played within a window between August and September, and Russell is hopeful that the situation will be resolved peacefully before that time. The dispute between the two South American neighbors is over the border territory Essequibo. Both have claimed ownership of the territory, and tensions have risen in the area after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro rejected the International Court of Justice's jurisdiction over the case. Guyana's President Irfan Ali said his country armed forces are on high alert, stating that Venezuela had declared itself an outlaw nation and blatantly disregarding the ICJ. The Guyana-based franchise, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, clinched their first CPL title when they defeated the Trinbago Knight Riders in the 2023 final at the Providence Stadium in Guyana earlier this year. That's sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hyundai, the home of modern premium affordable vehicles. Call us at 876-630-1511. The time by Hyundai is
5:32.
Love, care for, and protect our women and girls.
We are your family. We are your friends. Don't hurt us.
End violence against women and girls.
The temperature by the Office of the Prime Minister is
29 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 28 in the western city, Montego Bay, and it's now 30 minutes gone in the Olivier Shield playoff, and it's still Clarendon College 0, Mona 0.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Cook-a-Doo, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Chucklebus, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchideas Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
The joy and peace of Christmas is the wish from the management and staff of Wellington Dental, located at 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. They would like to thank their valued clients for their patronage throughout the year and pledge their continued support for the new year. They hope that you will have a safe Christmas and keep a bright smile this holiday season. Happy holidays from Wellington Dental.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister. Applications are now open for the Jamaica House Fellowship Program. Get first-hand high-level experience in the operations of the public sector and an opportunity to support and implement high-priority initiatives of the government of Jamaica for 2 years. Visit the OPM website at www.opm.gov.jm to apply and for more information. The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Drive into Christmas with a brand new Hyundai vehicle with no loan payment until May 2024. Yes, Hyundai pays for your first 5 loan payments, plus 2 years free service, 5 years warranty, and 0 processing fees. No more waiting on taxis or hitching rides. Get your Hyundai vehicle with 5 free payments on Duro this Christmas. Limited time offer while stocks last. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Every family is counting on financial stability. Every entrepreneur is counting on the power to grow. Every dreamer is counting on a plan to succeed. And in every success story, it's the first step that counts. GK Mutual Funds, with investments in local and international markets, helps you build your own wealth. It's the perfect start to your financial journey. Visit gk-capital.com for more. GK Mutual Funds, powered by GK Capital and Unit Trust Corporation.
You can do business with JPS from anywhere in the world. With the My JPS mobile app, you can take control of your energy. If you have a smart meter, you can track your energy usage hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly. Stay on top of your usage and make smarter energy decisions. You can also set your budget for the month and skip guesswork. Set it and forget it. No more surprises, no more unexpected bills. Download the My JPS mobile app in the App Store today and do business with JPS your way.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance, Chakama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Cover Story is brought to you by Magna Motors. Drive Hyundai with no payments until May 2024. Hyundai.
Drive into Christmas with a brand new Hyundai vehicle with no loan payment until May 2024. Yes, Hyundai pays for your first 5 loan payments, plus 2 years free service, 5 years warranty, and 0 processing fees. No more waiting on taxis or hitching rides. Get your Hyundai vehicle with 5 free payments on Duro this Christmas. Limited time offer while stocks last. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
5:37 on this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday, December 13, 2023. You're in with the Nationwide Cover Story. My name is George Davis.
I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sir Davis.
Yep, and just as we are ready for the program, Clarendon College have just opened the scoring in the Olivia Shield. That man again, Kaheem Dixon, with a simple header at the back post, although he was clattered by the Mona High goalkeeper as he did so. So Clarendon College 1, Mona High 0. The boys from Chapelton have drawn first blood.
I imagine my mother jumping up and down right now. She's a CC girl.
There you go. All right. Well, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, says it has taken enforcement action against the operator of one facility following a fish kill in the Harbour Head area of Kingston. The agency gave that update on Wednesday as part of its investigation into 2 recent fish kills in the area.
The latest fish kill was discovered on Saturday, December 9. NEPA has confirmed that a reduction in oxygen level in the water was the cause of the incident. It says a dominant algae that normally grows rapidly under high nutrient conditions led to the suffocation of the fish. NEPA says its assessments and interventions also confirmed various possible sources of nutrient runoff into the marine environment.
Meanwhile, NEPA says the frequency of the occurrence of environmental impacts in Harbour Head is due to the natural topography of the area, as it doesn't allow for the free flow of water in the upper bay. We're pleased to be joined by NEPA's Chief Executive Officer, Peter Knight, and the Director of Environmental Management and Conservation Division, Anthony McKenzie. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
No, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, George, and good afternoon to you, Siobhan.
Right. Let's get right to it. Peter Knight, the enforcement notice that has been served, what does it say? What does it communicate to the potential offender about the nature of the offense that has caused you to generate that notice?
I like where you have started, George, but I would like to just recognize that we have a national challenge. Well, we have a challenge in the Kingston area, Kingston St. Andrew, that we have to resolve. We have somewhere in the region of 25 gullies emptying into the harbour. And those gullies are taking loads of nutrients into the harbour. And then we have a challenge with the upper basin in that area right in Harbour Head, where because of poor circulation, remember now, I'm speaking about the entire harbour, but because of the water movements in this area, contaminants remain for a very long time. In fact, the studies say 29 days. And so once the nutrients get into that area, then it is going to create an environment for rapid multiplication. And so we had these discussions with the University of the West Indies Center for Marine Sciences yesterday, and we know that the algae that was identified proliferates rapidly once nutrients are available. So I'm coming to your question. But
yes, ma'am.
There are a number of point and non-point sources, including the gullies that I mentioned. And then there are the industrial facilities along, and I'm speaking just about that geographical area.
Yes.
And then there is a sewage treatment plant on the other side, and then there is a pump station on the side of the Harbour Head. So all of these, if you look collectively, are going to impact that area that in that upper basin, which is basically, I use the term dead. Now, so we have identified some areas. I don't want to go because we have served an enforcement notice, and the the facility that we have served, we want to give them the right to respond. So I don't want to get there yet, but what we have asked for is for some immediate actions to be taken and remedies to be put in place, and reporting and early warning systems and so on.
But fine, and we made a note today in our newscast. You didn't say it in your release that you issued, but we said that NEPA declined to identify the facility that was a potential offender, and we understand why. And we're taking into consideration what you've just said. But I think it's necessary, especially given the context that you've put to the issue with your explanation at the top, for you to give our listeners a sense of what it is that you have taken them to task for, even as you protect their right of response.
Boy, George, as long as I am familiar with you, you are very smart. You have come right back to what I'm trying to avoid. So, and that's the job of a journalist.
Man.
But
help me out. Yes,
we are going to hold that until we get a response from the management. Let me put it that way. Because when we serve enforcement notices, there is a right to challenge and to respond and to provide explanation. So we're going to hold that near to our chest until the facility responds. But the notice is the actions that we have demanded. And time is running out. I know that there were some initial action taken, but let's see. Everything is litigious. Let's see what comes back to us.
So, Mr. Knight, I'm wondering, is this that the entity is being directly blamed for the fish kill, or this latest fish kill in the harbour?
Not at all.
Or
Not
is
at
it just
all.
that your investigations has brought about enforcement notice on this agency and it has nothing to do with that fish kill?
No, it has to do with a number of issues which we have set out in our media release. And as we have explained, there are other we are doing assessment and interventions, so it may take time. There may be other facilities that we may cite, but for now, that action was taken. So it is not that we are saying that this one facility is responsible, but we have every good reason to cite that facility.
And just before we go to the break, gentlemen, and we're going to bring in Anthony McKenzie after the break, I say this to you again, Peter Knight, that I'm looking on your website, August 3, 2011, where you posted a media release, and in it, NEPA speaks to 3 enforcement notices served on Windalco for discharging improperly treated industrial effluent into the environment. And then it goes towards the tail of the release to speak about sediment profile of the area affected by the spill, biological assessment of the flora and fauna, water quality profile, and then it speaks of discharge of improperly treated effluent being a serious threat to natural resources. So I say that to say that you have form where you have issued enforcement notices to give the public a sense of what it is that the entity is being asked to respond to. Now, in a situation where people have seen thousands of fish dead floating in the Kingston Harbour and wondering what it is that may have caused it, we get an explanation now. I'm wondering why it is that you can't give us an idea of what it is this company is being asked to respond to, since you have form for saying that and publishing that, sharing that with the media and the public.
Well, let me give you an example. Since you're pressing me, the company has a facility that requires a pump to be operational, and we are saying if that pump, based on our risk assessment, if the pump goes down, then there should be a redundancy pump in place. And we are saying that if you have a pump and you have a redundancy pump, you also need an early warning system that you can know if the pumps are down, and that they need to be quick response. And we are saying when you take those actions, you must submit reports monthly, that we know that attention is being paid to the issues, and we will complement that, if you may, with regular monitoring of the facility.
Well, we're up on the break, gentlemen, so we'll take more after this.
Set your table just the way you like it, with those who mean the most. Set your table with Eve, the first family of fine foods.
The temperature by Eve is
29 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, and 28 out west in Montego Bay.
Celebrate the magic of home with Ashley Furniture Home Store. Serve up some seasonal delights this Christmas on exquisite dining pieces starting at $129,999. Indulge in relaxation with comfortable lounge pieces starting at $89,999. Enhance your sanctuary with bedroom pieces starting at $118,999. Elevate your space with financing options from 6 to 36 months. Ashley Furniture Home Store. This is home. Offers end December 27. Conditions apply.
This Christmas, start something truly special when you open a homeowner's savings plan or HOSP with CIBC First Caribbean. First step is to set your savings goal and timeline and save towards it with a preferential interest rate. When you hit your goal, HOSP will help you jingle all the way home with a mortgage discount and even an additional loan towards closing costs. 'Tis the season to save for your home. Give yourself the gift of getting started with CIBC First Caribbean.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486 to 7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
I earn hugs and rewards.
I earn smiles and rewards.
Whatever you get from giving your gifts this holiday season is made even better when you use your Sagicor Bank credit card, because you'll earn rewards on every dollar you spend. I earn.
Dad, you're the best!
Use your Sagicor Bank credit card to do all your holiday spending and earn the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
Make sure an adult is always supervising young children while you are away. This Christmas safety tip is brought to you by the Ministry of National Security.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Cook-a-Doo, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Shuttlebus, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchideas Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
It's 5:50. You're still in the cover story, and we are getting an update regarding the Harbourview fish kill. NEPA's CEO Peter Knight just informed us that enforcement notice has been served on an entity that has not been named regarding possible concerns over how it is handling its runoff. I'm not going to say it's waste, but it's runoff. And we also have on the line the Director of Environmental Management and Conservation at NEPA, Mr. Anthony McKenzie. And I want to ask you, Mr. McKenzie, I understand the need for discretion in many things, but at what point is the public informed that action has been taken, not against an entity, but that the entity has named and brought to the public awareness, considering the public health and public just safety impact of these situations?
No, well, I think, eventually the company and the name of the company will be made available. I think we need to recognize that there's a regulatory and legal procedure that has to be followed. And once we've gotten to a particular stage, then certainly the facility or the companies that information will be made available to the public, certainly. I mean, this is not the first time we have taken this approach. I mean, that's our practice, actually. And going forward, that's a similar approach that we take.
But let's say the company is able to meet the requirements that NEPA has set out, and they do this quietly without you needing to take further action. Is it then that this matter is just left there, or do you still bring this to the public's attention?
Chevon, let me let me make an intervention.
Okay.
We, since this matter has broken, let me put it that way, we have received quite a bit of information that we have to investigate, we have to work on. We have texts, we have information from members of the public about cesspool trucks dumping sewage at specific locations. We have to investigate that. We are investigating that. We are trying to identify the companies or the trucks. We have other matters investigating. We don't want at this point to name the enforcement action against which, because it will give the impression and the public will go away to say this is the only facility that is breaching the requirements. Now, bear in mind that it is not only the facilities that are impacting the nutrients load into the marine environment. As I said, the gullies, the 20-odd gullies that are empty, we have informal settlements, even in that area at Harbour Head. We have informal settlements sitting on top of the area with poor or no sewage treatment systems. We know that all of that sewage waste is getting into the marine environment. It needs other policy remedy. It needs other interventions. So we want to be careful. At some point, as I have said to elsewhere, we will probably call a media briefing, and we will show specific points, and we will name facilities. We have to finalize the assessment. We are going to recommend a number of we are going to make a number of recommendations to the government. For example, that area, we have to probably find a way of aerating that section of the upper basin to ensure that the oxygen levels remain constant. I mean, it is a technology, let me put it that way, that is used in wastewater treatment plants where you can put in and you can aerate and you can help to move oxygen along in that area. So we have some policy recommendations also. The policy recommendation also have to do, there has to be intervention along the gullies into these informal settlements. The nutrient load getting into the harbour, we have to pay attention, and it needs some policy intervention also.
It sounds like you have a multiplicity of concerns there, Sir Knight. But
many.
But, I mean, I can't imagine this is a problem that creeped up on us, because I understand there was a fish kill back in November, and Jet has been hammering on this point in terms of the concerns in that area. So why did it take us this long to respond with what it seems like will need quite a few interventions on many fronts?
Well, Siobhan, my response would be, it's never too late for a shower rain. Sometimes you have to do deeper analysis. And sometimes you have to ask for help. Sometimes you have to, the dashboard, you have to start with a clean sheet on the wall and a clean dashboard and look at other issues that you may have overlooked before. It is a multifaceted thing, and it needs intervention. We are fearful because it is going to end up at our doorstep. We are fearful that if there is no major intervention, especially in this area of the Upper Basin, to deal with this area of the Upper Basin, that we are going to have fish kill again and again, as you rightly said. So it needs some intervention, and we are going to make those recommendations.
The issue of fish stock, gentlemen, in the area, one of the concerns expressed by...
no competence there.
It's good that they have Anthony with you. Where people are speculating about, given the number of fish that died in the two most recent incidents, that there could be a knock-on effect in terms of fish available for those who've made that their livelihood. Is this a real concern, or given the heft of the fish stock, that this is not an issue to worry about?
Well, I could refer to the comments of the CEO of the National Fisheries Authority. He was a part of the assessment team on Saturday, and that issue was raised. He actually pointed to the fact that the Upper Basin is not an area that many of the fishermen fish and are licensed to fish. They mostly fish in the outer sections of the harbour and perhaps catch bait up in that particular area. The bottom line, though, George, is that a lot of people would classify the harbour in general as in very, very poor state, and in fact, perhaps use the word dead. Mm-hmm. But you can see the amount of fish, and the reality is that based on the data that we have, and even data at the university, the water quality of the harbour is actually improving. There's improvement to the water quality, or data is showing that. It's not certainly at the place where we want it to be. Yes. Because, if you look at the profiles, I was looking back at the data today, nitrates and phosphates, the nutrient parameters are very high, right? But the agency, the government, has taken some strong actions with respect to industries in particular.
Yeah.
The CEO could speak to that as well. He's been at the forefront of that, and so we're not seeing that heavy load from the industry as a point source. And certainly with respect to sewage, and I'm talking about data from 2009 to present. There's a new sewage system that was installed for the municipality. We have issues, but more work needs to be done.
Yes,
but it's not all lost.
Hear you on that.
We have some positives.
Gentlemen, we're out of time. Peter Knight, thank you very much. Anthony Mackenzie, thank you as well.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's the cover story.
Cover Story was brought to you by Magna Motors. Drive Hyundai with no payments until May 2024. Hyundai.
Say hello to peace of mind and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan and secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness today. Call 888-367-5433 for details.
The time by Guardian Life is
6:01.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today.
The temperature by IQ Optical is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Lawmakers on the Joint Select Committee examining the Jamaica Teaching Council bill successfully argued for a narrowing of the list of offences that could see a teacher being disqualified from continuing to serve the profession. This despite a robust defense of the range of offences included in the bill from CEO of the Jamaica Teaching Council, Dr. Winsome Gordon. Dr. Gordon says such an infraction by a member of the teaching profession ought to be met with a tough penalty.
Teaching is a profession that is set up to bring up a set of human beings, and to bring up a set of human beings with certain values, certain accepted values. And when those values are breached, they are breached. It is a breach of professional conduct. And so we don't want to look at it and say, this is small and this is big and this is medium size. There's a breach of professional conduct, and that has consequences. It's because the teacher has a fundamental responsibility to the nation to bring up the children of the nation with certain values and morals and understanding of relationships and how we survive as a sustainable society.
Winsome Gordon, CEO of the Jamaica Teaching Council. Meanwhile, the MP for North Trelawney, Tova Hamilton, agreed with Dr. Gordon on the importance of professional values, but she believes certain offences should not cause a teacher to be barred from continuing in the profession.
What Dr. Gordon just mentioned, yes, I can identify the values that maybe must be imparted to children, but the revocation is not the only mechanism under the legislation that can deal with offenses. So we are now talking about permanently removing somebody from a classroom. If the offense is not one that is particularly egregious and there are other disciplinary actions that can be taken, remember the person can be suspended for a particular period of time. Now that removal in and of itself, I think, sends a message. I just don't see why we should remove a teacher for some of these offenses that have been highlighted.
Tova Hamilton, MP for North Trelawney. The point was made that a teacher could end up being kicked out of the profession for an offense such as accidentally participating in a fish kill. Government Senator Cavan Gale says that's a ridiculous proposition.
There are some offenses contained under what is being proposed that stretches itself too far in barring the person from becoming a teacher.
Cavan Gale, Government Senator. The committee members agreed ultimately to a narrowing of the list of offences which would result in a teacher being disqualified from profession. Education Minister Fayval Williams says she expects nothing but good behavior from players, fans and stakeholders when the curtain comes down on the schoolboy football season with the battle for the Olivier Shield at the National Stadium. The clash between Manning Cup Kings, Mona High, and Da Costa Cup Heroes, Clarendon College, kicked off at 5 p.m. According to Minister Williams, today's event at the National Stadium turf must be all about sportsmanship.
I'm imploring our students to exercise all the qualities of sportsmanship that they are taught in the sport. First time, odds-defying Manning Cup winner, Mona High School, let's give them the credit. They will be competing aggressively against, again, many times, the Costa Cup champion and most dominant schoolboy football team, Clarendon College. And they're going for that, I would say, the symbol of schoolboy supremacy.
Minister Williams made a direct appeal to the players and those connected to the rival teams to be on their best behavior.
We already know the history of these two schools, and we know that spirits are going to be high, very high, among spectators on both sides. And so I'm adamant that we do not want to see a repeat of what happened last Friday night when spectators stormed the field and brought about a premature end to the celebrations. So we're calling on our boys and girls, we're calling on our parents, we're calling on all spectators to remember that this is not just a national event, it is also an international event because Jamaica is on show to the rest of the world.
Favour Williams, Minister of Education. Opposition spokesperson on tourism, Senator Janice Allen, is calling for a revision of the government's tourism investment strategy. According to her, a revised strategy must include an approach to growing the industry that provides wealth creation opportunities for small players. Senator Allen says a revised strategy should also include measures to decentralize how revenue earned by the industry is then reinvested.
As was announced in the minister's statement yesterday, there is a proliferation of new investments to come between Montego Bay and Negril. And so we are seeing greater demand for the resources in these areas. And it is creating an issue. And we are seeing less and less where more of the dollar that can be spent in the industry is not being spent. What I want to see is a new type of investment, a more balanced approach to the investment type so that more restaurants, more transportation, more entertainment can benefit. So we need to come to the table and review and revisit our investment strategy so that we are not too heavily concentrated in one type within one area.
Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett says the industry has directly contributed $52 billion in revenue to the government's coffers since the start of the year. Senator Allen wants to hear how those funds have been spent.
What we want to ensure is that those funds that are earned because of tourism must be invested back into tourism. So what I want to hear from the minister is exactly how, in a substantial way, we will have reinvestment in the industry, as has been called for by players in the industry who are not seeing the repayment or the reinvestment in the industry that is commensurate with what has been earned by the industry.
Senator Janice Allen, opposition spokesperson on tourism. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Sports is next.
Yes, you. Well, listen to the radio. I have a secret to tell you. You see the My Cash app? It bad. Me pay all of my bills them quick by my phone before my wife can call me to check on it. It's easy, safe, and keep me out of trouble. Everybody can use it. Hello? Yes, baby. Bills paid on the My Cash app long time. One step by day again. Download the My Cash app by Paymaster today. Pay your bills anytime, anywhere with My Cash. My Cash, my way. My Cash digital wallet product is being tested in Bank of Jamaica's regulatory sandbox.
Mosquitoes can spread diseases such as dengue fever. Common symptoms of dengue include fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle pain, joint pain, skin rash, nausea, and vomiting. If you feel you have dengue fever, visit your doctor or health center, rest, drink lots of fluids, use only paracetamol for pain. Do not take aspirin or other painkillers. Protect yourself from dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Do you or someone you know have a drug, drinking, or gambling problem? Mental health issues or COVID fatigue? Rise Life Management Services offers treatment, telephone counseling, and information 7 days a week from 8:30 a.m. to 12 midnight. Call us toll-free at 1-888-991-4146 and after 4:30 at 876-967-3779. All information will be treated confidentially. Rise, changing lives for the better.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Kukudu, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Chucklebus, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchidea's Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The Costa Cup champions Clarendon College were leading Manning Cup winners Mona High 1-0. Just 6 minutes into the second half of the Olivier Shield playoff at the National Stadium, Kaheem Dixon popped up for his 32nd goal of the season to put Clarendon College ahead on minute 40. The game is a play to the finish, which means penalties will be used to determine the winners if the teams are not separated at the end of the 90 minutes. An hour before the start of today's game, Mona High were presented finally with their Manning Cup trophy. Rare Nephew White Overproof Rum announced a multi-season partnership with the Kingston and St. Andrew Football Association CASAFA, the championship and Major League Football competitions. The partnership encompasses both cash and product support to the association to benefit their clubs during the respective competition. Rare Nephew's support extends beyond the field, including assistance in the administration of the competition. Big spenders Paris Saint-Germain survived a nervous night to book their spot in the round of 16 of the European Champions League. PSG came from behind to earn a 1-1 draw with Borussia Dortmund in Germany to finish behind the home side who topped Group F. The result means that AC Milan, who beat Newcastle United 2-1 at St. James's Park, gets the Europa League spot, and the Magpies, like Manchester United 24 hours before, crashed out of Europe altogether. Champions Manchester City closed out the group stage with a perfect record after seeing off the Cervena Zvezda 3-2 to top Group G, as Leipzig stopped Young Boys to finish second. Atletico Madrid turned back Lazio 2-1 in the Spanish capital to win Group E, and despite the defeat, Lazio will follow them into the round of 16. Group H went to FC Barcelona despite a 3-2 defeat away to Antwerp, while FC Porto's 5-3 win over Shakhtar Donetsk gave them the second spot in that group. West Indies all-rounder Andre Russell says the T20 World Cup in the Caribbean and the USA next year will be his swan song from international cricket. Russell says he has already made his intentions clear to coach of the West Indies white ball teams, Darren Sammy. However, the former Clarendon College man says he's so committed to West Indies cricket he would be prepared to come out of retirement if he's still needed by the regional side.
Based on discussion with the coach, I told him that after World Cup, I would, walk away from international cricket. But if they need me, I will come out of retirement. But that's the plan that I have. There are so many young talents here all around that's similar to myself. So sometimes you realize you're going into, 36. Just give the youngsters the opportunity. And, if West Indies still need me, I will be willing to put in the hard yards for them.
And Russell was in stunning form at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados last night. He helped the West Indies beat the world champions England by 4 wickets to take a 1-0 lead in their 5-match series. He bagged 3 wickets and scored an unbeaten 31. He was also named man of the match.
I love the start that I get, second over, picking up an important wicket, then start to pull it back in the middle. So I was excited to see all the guys there, trying to make sure that the plan that we discussed in the huddle came out. And, it's good to pull it back from a high-scoring game to 170. We know how good of a quality spinners England have and their bowlers. So it was good to actually restrict them, and we could have some cushion and comfort to get the score.
That's the West Indies all-rounder Andre Russell. It was Russell's first game of for the West Indies since November 2021. The second game in the series is tomorrow at the National Stadium in St. George's, Grenada, and it's set to get underway at 12:30 Jamaica time. CEO of the Caribbean Premier League CPL Pete Russell says he's optimistic the territorial dispute between Guyana and Venezuela will not affect the final stages of the 2024 tournament, including the final to be held in Guyana. Guyana was selected by CPL to host the final of the tournament from 2022 to 2024. Russell says it's too early to say if the increasing tensions between the two nations have caused the CPL organizers to rethink their plans for the next final, but he's hoping that will not be the case. Russell says they don't have any contingency plans at the minute, but he outlined that the CPL is monitoring the situation. CPL is usually within a window between August and September, and Russell is hopeful that the situation will be resolved peacefully before that time. The dispute between the two South American neighbors, as we look at Clarendon College trying to increase that lead. Bit distracted, but you can understand. So let's do that again. The CPL is usually played within a window between August and September, and Russell is hopeful that the situation will be resolved peacefully before that time. The dispute between the two South American neighbors is over the border territory. Essequibo both have claimed ownership of the territory, and the tensions have risen in the area after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro rejected the International Court of Justice's jurisdiction over the case. And Guyana's President Irfan Ali said his country's armed forces are on high alert, stating that Venezuela had declared itself as, quote, an outlaw nation and blatantly disregarding the ICJ. The Guyana franchise, the Amazon Warriors, clinched their first CPL title when they defeated Trinbago Knight Riders in the 2023 final at Providence in Guyana. Just an update, 1-1, it's 1-0 still in favor of Clarendon College. Can't believe it is. Clarendon getting two very, very clear opportunities to at least go 3-0 up in the space of 2 minutes. And the man who scored the goal so far in the game, Kaheem Dixon, was at fault on both of those opportunities. All right, the Australian cricketer Usman Khawaja says he'll fight the decision to bar him from making an on-field statement in support of Palestinians. The batter had planned to wear shoes bearing the words, "All lives are equal and freedom is a human right," at a test match with Pakistan. The International Cricket Council did not allow this as it considered the statements political. Khawaja said in a video that the message was a humanitarian appeal. In the emotional video, the 36-year-old added, quote, "I will respect the ICC's view and decision, but I will fight and seek to gain approval." Under ICC rules, Khawaja could be sidelined from the match if he wears the shoes without approval, something that his team captain Pat Cummings had earlier told the media the batter will not do. Draymond Green might have another suspension in his future 2 weeks after returning from a 5-game suspension for putting Rudy Gobert in a chokehold. The embattled Golden State Warriors forward was ejected from a game against the Phoenix Suns for taking a wild swing at center Yusuf Nurkic last night. The play came in the third quarter as Green and Nurkic jostled for position on an inbound play. For seemingly no reason, Green spun around and connected on a hard right to Nurkic's face. The play was immediately called as a foul and later upgraded to a flagrant 2 and automatic ejection. Green will almost certainly face a fine for the incident, with a suspension depending on how the league office reviews the incident. At the time of his ejection, Green had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 turnovers. The Warriors were leading 65-60 when he left, and they proceeded to lose 119-116 to fall to 10-3 of the season. This was a game in where the Suns were missing Kevin Durant. Green apologized for hitting Nurkic after the game. And before we go, just to give you a very latest on the game over there at the stadium, it's still Clarendon College 1. We're now on the hour mark, with Clarendon College leading the Manning Cup champions, Mona High School, by 1-0. Let's look at this latest move. No, thwarted by Mona and getting clearance in the end. All right, that's it for sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:20.
Tired of the high interest rates and the whole heap of loan payments every month? Take a debt consolidation loan from AIM to pay credit card bills and all other high interest rate loans from other institutions. Make one low monthly payment to AIM and take home some extra money in your pocket. That's financial freedom. One loan, one low payment. More money in your pocket. Call AIM today to lower your loan payments. And remember, you won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
The management and staff of Raj Nuts, Bolts and Supplies, White River, St. Mary, wish their valued customers a happy holiday season. It was a pleasure serving you, and we look forward to our continued partnership in the new year. Best wishes from Raj Nuts, Bolts and Supplies. Telephone 876-622-1714.
Happy holidays from Team Adam and Eve. We invite you to indulge in a relaxing spa atmosphere or gift someone spa pampering this season. Visit us at www.adamandevedayspajA.com for e-certificates or WhatsApp 876-567-2142. Relax, refresh, and respite with us today. We have Christmas packages starting at $8,500. Book a massage, facial, mani-pedi, or hair service at Adam and Eve Day Spa. You deserve it.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
And Image Plus Consultants Limited, owners and operators of Apex Radiology.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Roby Ann Williams, a special one going to our YouTubers. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we invite you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. It's a topic that we've been discussing. Hate speech in Jamaica. The Andrew Holness-led administration is considering the introduction of hate speech laws. Prime Minister Andrew Holness put forward the potential legislative initiative as part of what he described as his peace and productivity thrust. Now, Mr. Holness was addressing a virtual diaspora conference hosted at the Jamaican Embassy in Washington, D.C. last week.
We can address this issue of socialized violence. And that is going to be a direction of the government. We are going to mobilize, coordinate, and direct resources towards this problem of violence in Jamaica. It means we are going to have to deal with things like hate speech. It's not a feature yet in the Jamaican society, but you in the diaspora, many of you live in society where speech that deliberately targets violence at a group or a person is treated within law. In Jamaica, there's really no such thing. We have to consider that.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness right there. Hate speech is defined as abusive or threatening speech or writing that expresses prejudice based on ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or similar grounds. Laws to combat such behavior, well, they are used widely in developed nations as a means to curb racism and other forms of discrimination. So for today, in our Public Opinion, we're asking, would you support the introduction of hate speech laws in Jamaica? Well, let's hear the comments on our social media platforms, starting on X. Honorable Sally Porteous says, yes, I would. Hate speech invites violence and contributes to unrest and the inability to respect others. Graham Jervis gave a single answer. He said no. Andre Lawrence gave a yes, but he's telling us why he is supportive of hate speech in Jamaica. He went on to say, while freedom of speech is a fundamental right, it should not be used as a shield for hate speech that can cause harm and infringe upon the rights and dignity of others. Hate speech laws help strike a balance between protecting individual freedoms and preventing the spread of harmful and discriminatory rhetoric. He's saying that these laws recognize that there are limits when it comes to promoting violence, discrimination, and prejudice. Thank you so much for this comment, Andre Lawrence. Ametila says, epistle, I'm giving some more after that. Striker says, no. It's a very slippery slope which will possibly cause unnecessary controversy about freedom of speech, and he's questioning why mull hate speech laws when hardly people here demanding such. Okay. Happy Jamaican says only if it's specifically defined. Yvonne Miami says yes, but under what clause? Who would go for it? White collars, or would it be all purpose? Donna Mealy says no. Exodus is also saying no. I want to know the truth. Yeah, that's his name. Says nope. Would be a very slippery slope. Philip Evans says, interesting question. A strong democracy requires freedom of speech, first and foremost, and only then can you determine what hate speech is. So let's call it what it is, controlled. Okay, so he's saying, let's call it what it is. Controlled speech is what they want to now implement on our citizens. Well, it's a consideration. Mark David says no. Everybody is so sensitive to criticism. So can imagine when you say something to hurt them feelings, them going to say hate speech. All right. Let's see. Yamil says support laws in Jamrock and the Caribbean if explicitly written. Workplace bosses and government officials can be called anything from dog to pig with total free speech protection and enforced not by judges but ordinary people. Since since rulers won't make such laws, I say no to hate speech laws. Okay. Paper Soda JA says yes, Jamaicans feel free to tell you about your mother. All right. Wow. If you're just joining us, we're inside the court of public opinion, and the question we're putting to you, would you support the introduction of hate speech laws in Jamaica? On our Facebook platform, let me get the responses there. Christopher Isaac says swearing and cussing in our country is tantamount to breathing. So, no, it would become too burdensome. Edney Powell is agreeing that hate speech laws should be introduced in Jamaica. He says, I don't think you should make wild utterances. Some people going talk about freedom of speech, but you have to temper what you say. Josh Pride says, I would if that was the real intent. All actions suggest it's going to change the buggery law in the Constitution of Jamaica. They should just come out with the truth and not hide the real intentions. All right, to each his own opinion. It's welcomed. Fabian Smith says yes. Natalie Winter says yes, but I don't see the need for it at this time. Neil Walters says absolutely, the abuse used us Jamaicans can hurl at each other without any consequences. And I'm getting a yes from Wesley Cunningham, and Anthony Shakes is saying yes, 100%. No form of hate speech should be tolerated. People, organizations must be held accountable. Okay, let's see the comments on our YouTube platform. If we can get those comments up and running to our question this evening, would you support the introduction of hate speech laws in Jamaica? Let me see. The responses are populating. So I'll go to our Instagram platform where Foyd says only the LGBTQ community supports it. How would hate speech go beyond what defamation or slander laws already provide for us? What is hate speech? And he's saying that this proposed legislation is nothing but a Trojan horse designed to circumvent free speech. And I must tell you that a lot of people are of that opinion, you know. I've read some comments and it's leaning towards circumventing free speech. Junior Anna says absolutely. Also coming from Cloth Hilda saying absolutely. Simply is asking what is hate speech, because I realize the truth is considered hate speech now. And she's saying need clarity, please. Let me see if I can get to the comments now on our YouTube platform. Ni Hao is saying, I will not. The great America does not have hate speech law. The Supreme Court of USA has struck that down. Okay. Prosperity says, swearing is different from hate speech. Yes, I think we should make that clear. Swearing is different from hate speech, but that's what they're saying. That's what some of the comments are asking for, some explanation as relates to what will be considered. But we have to remember that this is only a consideration, But let's see Let's see. San says this thing needs to be properly defined, and that's what I was getting at earlier. It needs to be properly defined when it is that it comes to that. Herman Hyatt is also saying what is defined as hate speech. Well, the official definition we have here is it's defined as abusive or threatening speech or writing that expresses prejudice based on ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or similar grounds. So somewhere along those lines, I expect that maybe it will be altered to suit or island or country. Let me see if I can get in some more. Nihao says there are laws against libel defamation, and she's saying enough. That is, those are enough. See if I can get in some one. Mercy says the basis is there for us to revisit and consider. Eldon Lewis says there is a lack of emotional intelligence in Jamaica and we're going south. Wow, okay. Leonard Seville says hate speech is something to consider. It's full time we have such laws. All right, to each his own opinion, and we welcome it. Orville Marshall, I see you saying that my side should be behind by 3 goals. I don't, and he's referring to the match now being played between Mona and Clarendon College. Mona, my alma mater, yes. And that's the score as we are seeing it now is Clarendon College 2, Mona 0. But here we not give up, no retreat, no surrender. We're playing till the end, and I'm very, very happy for Mona. Yes. Let me see. D-Muse, back to the comments on our social media on YouTube. D-Muse says, yes, too much loose tongue. He's agreeing that that hate speech should be introduced in Jamaica. Right there. All right, that's all the time we have for public opinion, but do stay tuned for the business report up next.
Public opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
And Image Plus Consultants Limited, owners and operators of Apex Radiology. Gambling is a form of entertainment and not a way to get rich. For information on responsible gambling, call Rise Life at 888-991-4146. The time by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission is
6:33. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robian Williams. Starting in the U.S., its central bank has signaled it could start cutting interest rates next year if inflation continues to fall. Forecasts released by the Federal Reserve on Wednesday showed a majority of policymakers expect to lower its key interest rate in 2024 after raising it to a 22-year high. The Federal Reserve kept the target for that rate unchanged at 5.25% to 5.5%. Now, markets surged on signs borrowing costs could be reduced next year, with the Dow Jones closing at a new record high. The 3 major indices in the U.S. ended the day up 1.4%. The announcement comes ahead of a number of central bank meetings in Europe. The Bank of England, which meets on Thursday, is also expected to hold interest rates again. Tesla is recalling more than 2 million cars after the U.S. regulator found its driver assistance system, Autopilot, was partly defective. It follows a 2-year investigation into crashes which occurred when the tech was in use. The recall applies to almost every Tesla sold in the U.S. since the Autopilot feature was launched in 2015. Tesla, owned by billionaire Elon Musk, said it would send a software update over the air to fix the issue. The update happens automatically and does not require a visit to a dealership or garage, but is still referred to by the U.S. regulator as a recall. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 156 Jamaican dollars and 47 cents to buy $1. It cost 198 Jamaican dollars and 74 cents to buy £1 British pound and 115 Jamaican dollars and 69 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Robian Williams. Good evening.
buckets of savings from Sherwin-Williams from November 23 to December 21. 12% off decorative paint, 10% off automotive paint. Purchase 5 gallons of paint and get a paintbrush free. 6 to 9 gallons and get 2 paintbrushes free. And over 10 gallons, get a paint roller set absolutely free. Get buckets of savings from Sherwin-Williams from November 23 to December 21. Available at all Sherwin-Williams paint stores. Conditions apply.
In the pursuit of consumer protection, skill, knowledge, conduct, and integrity are the pillars of a financial sector we can trust and be proud of. The Financial Services Commission, promoting integrity in the Jamaican financial sector. Play your part. Check before you invest.
Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, invites all to the city's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and concert at the St. William Grant Park, Thursday, December 14, 6:30 p.m., featuring music from Kukudu, AJ Brown, with special performances from Ding Dong, Pablo YG, Vanessa Bling, 450, and many more. You don't want to miss our special guest artists and live performances from Dancing Rebel and the DFT Dancers. Music by Chucklebus, hosted by Miss Kitty. Come out early for Orchideas Village at midday for rides and nuff giveaways. Admission is free. It's the City of Kingston Tree Lighting Ceremony, Thursday, December 14. See you there.
Missing persons, may I help you?
Yes, my wife is missing.
Where did you last see her?
In Kemlanimat. They have huge savings on living room, dining room, bedroom sets.
Really?
And that's not all. There are doors, toilets, tiles, low prices on TVs, fridges, stoves, and more.
Is your credit card missing, sir?
Yes, how you know?
She's still in Kemlanimat, sir. Go check.
Okay.
I love this place, you see.
Hello, I found her.
Kemlanimat, you will never want to leave.
Everybody, let's go! Join Nationwide at 5 as they broadcast live from the tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14 from 6 to 8 p.m. Under the distinguished patronage of His Worship, the Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, the KSAMC will host the City of Kingston's Christmas tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14, 2023, inside St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston. But wait, there's more! After the ceremony, enjoy a massive concert featuring performances by Ding Dong, AJ Brown, Pablo YG, Joan Flemings, Kukudu, 450, and a host of other artists, hosted by Miss Kitty. That's a live broadcast during Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, December 14 at St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston. Only on Nationwide at 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation.
6:39 on this Wednesday evening, Wednesday, December 13, 2023. You're listening to the Nation's Business here on Nationwide, 90 FM Nationwide at 5. My name is George Davis.
I'm Siobhan Campbell.
That's all? Something is wrong with your microphone? What?
That's better. Okay.
All right. Well, lawmakers on the Joint Select Committee examining the Jamaica Teaching Council bill successfully argued for a narrowing of the list of offences that could see a teacher being disqualified from continuing to serve the profession or from entering the profession.
The original wording of the bill would see a teacher barred from the profession for a crime as low grade as larceny of a dog. However, North Trelawney Member of Parliament Tova Hamilton called for a condensing of the offences, which would lead to the disqualification of a teacher.
Chair, we wouldn't be able to keep all of these offences. For example, the Larceny Act. It has here larceny of dogs. 7. I really don't believe that we should revoke somebody's license because they stole a dog. For example. So I'm saying we have to really condense. Yes, but I mean, yeah, but this is an offense.
So I think
the person. No, but this is an offense. Yeah, but so you're proving my point then, Dr. Gordon, because I'm saying this is an offense where you can now, after a period of time, apply to be reinstated. A larceny of a dog, for example. Well, that is for the council to determine, based on the information that the person would have submitted for reinstatement. But I don't believe that somebody should be permanently removed from a classroom because they may have taken a dog from somewhere. I think that's a bit harsh.
And it's not what the person steals. It's the act of stealing.
Public nuisance. Come on, man. What we're doing here, is that we're seeking to capture an expansive set of legislation that have within them certain offenses. That I'm not seeing some of these offenses that should prevent or prohibit someone from carrying out their profession.
So we have to identify
So the public nuisance.
Could we go through and mark off then if that's where it comes down to?
I would prefer, Chair, that we stick to those that would appear egregious in nature. Grave. Yeah?
Because they're not coming back from it.
Hold on. Hold on. So let's tell the listeners that it was Tova Hamilton first, MP for North Trelawney, and then the government senator, Cavan Gale. Help me here. The CEO of the JTC says, look, it's not what you stole,
But
it's
the
the
act of
fact
theft.
you stole. It's the fact you stole, not what you stole. I'm tending to agree with her. So, yes, I see what MP Hamilton is saying and what Cavan Gale is agreeing with that. Yeah, but it's a dog. Larceny of a dog. There are some people, you steal a dog, that's a massive thing to them. There are many people who will say, well, a dog stealing is not a big thing, but for many people it's a big thing, all right? But I'm saying, why should a teacher who steals anything be allowed to continue as a teacher? Or why should someone who's trained as a teacher, who intends to enter the profession, who steals anything, be allowed to enter the profession? That's a question I'm asking.
The argument, I think, being put forward from the side of the MPs is that, yes, we understand that there are offenses and then there are offenses, and that certain offenses should not disqualify you from essentially having a livelihood, in this terms, teaching. So I can see that argument. But I mean, yes, just as in the legal profession, from you have a criminal record of any form, you cannot practice law. End of discussion. So I can see where people will make the argument that, yes, you must just set a standard that certain people are not allowed in certain professions. But then, is the teaching profession at such a level of sacredness that we will set such a high bar that would disqualify a good portion of people from having that profession is the real question.
And to say that someone steals a dog and it's a low-grade offense is on the surface a fair argument. But then when you investigate the circumstances around which the dog was stolen, the subterfuge, the perhaps violence was used in holding on to the dog that you stole, all of that, I don't think it's as cut and dried as our parliamentarians are making it sound, even though I see at face value what they're saying, that you wouldn't want to disqualify someone for something that's a low-grade offense. But at the same time, what standards are we setting? Are we saying that our teachers should be of the highest standards in terms of character? Yeah, they should be of unimpeachable characters. If that's what we're saying, then fine. If that's not what we're saying, we're opening up another can of worms, because what low standards then should these people hold who are in a position as nurturer, guide, counselor, lifelong teacher to young minds that are malleable and waiting, begging to be shaped. We take the break and come right back and pick up what happened in that joint select committee.
Become Team Jamaica certified to shape the future of Jamaica's tourism sector. TPD codes Team Jamaica, shaping ambassadors for life.
The time by TPDCO's Team Jamaica training program is
6:46.
The original wine with the flavor, with little ginger for savor. Gain enough stamina, energy, them love the behavior. Yeah, we drink one solid like one. When we drink one ginger wine, one ginger wine, one solid like one. When we drink one ginger wine, one ginger wine. Solid like stone when we drink up for stones. Ginger wine.
Stones ginger wine. Solid. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Welcome to Paymaster. How can we help you today?
Morning, miss. I need to pay some bills and pick up remittance. I can do that here?
You can pay any bills, utilities, school fees, insurance, and microloan repayments. Plus, pay your toll tag and collect PAD and pension payouts.
Really?
Yes! We have over 200 Paymaster locations island-wide. Access our services with Paymaster Online, or you can pay bills, send cash, and top up with the MyCash app by Paymaster.
Thanks. Paymaster fast, accessible, and secure for true.
MyCash product is being tested in Bank of Jamaica's regulatory sandbox.
Missing persons, may I help you?
Yes, my wife is missing.
Where did you last see her?
In Kemlani Mart. They have huge savings on living room, dining room, bedroom sets.
Really?
And that's not all. There are doors, toilets, tiles, low prices on TVs, fridges, stoves, and more.
Is your credit card missing, sir?
Yes, how you know?
She's still in Kemlani Mart, sir. Go check.
Okay.
I love this place, you see.
Hello, I found her.
Kemlani Mart, you will never want to leave.
6:47 on this Wednesday evening. Mona under the cosh right now. Clarendon College 4-0 up in the 89th minute of that Olivier Shield clash at the National Stadium. Let's continue, Chevron.
Right, so MP Hamilton went on to ask for the bill to outline specific charges that would lead to a teacher being removed from the profession.
Remember that there is the situation where somebody can be suspended for a period of time in the classroom. So if somebody steals your Dalmatian and you report that person, then yes, they can be removed from the classroom temporarily, and then can apply to be reinstated after a period of time. After I don't know what processes would have taken effect from the theft, but I don't believe that. And as Senator Gale was saying, public nuisance. I mean, it depends though on the gravity of it. But I don't want us to start nitpicking and going through every possible scenario that can possibly take place, because it would make sense. So I'm in agreement with going through identifying the serious offenses, not necessarily applying sections to them, but highlighting, for example, offenses relating to children, rape, murder, however we want to do it. The drafters would be able to give us, pardon me, Chair? Drugs, exactly, things like that. But for us to go into all of these, I don't think it would be fair.
So that's Tova Hamilton, the MP for North Trelawney. She was, however, challenged by the CEO of the Jamaica Teaching Council, Dr. Winsome Gordon. Dr. Gordon says the professional conduct of educators must be safeguarded.
Yeah, you know, teaching is not just teaching a child ABC and 2 + 2. Teaching is a profession that is set up to bring up a set of human beings, and to bring up a set of human beings with certain values, certain accepted values. And when those values are breached, they are breached. It is a breach of professional conduct. And so we don't want to look at it and say, this is small and this is big and this is medium size. There's a breach of professional conduct, and that has consequences. It is for that reason why the teacher is appraised every year for professional conduct, because the teacher has a fundamental responsibility to the nation to bring up the children of the nation with certain values and morals and understanding of relationships and how we survive as a sustainable society.
I am in total agreement with Dr. Gordon. I think for the first time we see eye to eye. And that is why it was important for us to have teachers get police records. However, what Dr. Gordon just mentioned, yes, I can identify the values that maybe must be imparted to children. But the revocation is not the only mechanism under the legislation that can deal with offenses. So we are now talking about permanently removing somebody from a classroom. If the offense is not one that is particularly egregious and there are other disciplinary actions that can be taken, remember the person can be suspended for a particular period of time. Now that removal in and of itself, I think, sends a message. Yes, I just don't see why we should remove a teacher for some of these offenses that have been highlighted. I mean, there are not a lot of them that I think are, but we probably need to just go through to see if we definitely want to keep some of these.
This leads to a bigger discussion on what happens to a person convicted of a crime and how the world of employment should treat that person. That's the bigger picture discussion, because notwithstanding what I said before the break, if you put yourself in the shoes of someone who's convicted of a crime, especially a crime such as stealing a dog or, as Cavan Gill said based on the clip we carried in the news, accidentally participating in a fish kill, if you are that person with teaching qualifications and a love for teaching and a knack for getting students to perform, you're going to listen to the discussion and wonder, why are you being persecuted? You're going to feel hard done by the posture that a person like yourself ought never to set foot in a classroom again. At the same time, people who've committed crimes, whatever the crime, whatever the grade, what should society do with them where working is concerned? Are they to be ostracized? Are they to be shunned? It's a real issue. And it's easy for a person to say, no, they shouldn't work again because you shouldn't thief in the first place and blah, 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 blah. I don't have a criminal record. As far as I know, you don't either. But that's where the empathy comes in. So even though our criminal record is clean, we can't just base our comments on the fact of our clean criminal records. We have to think of those in real life situations who have transgressed for whatever reason, but who have the skills to impart and the passion and the knowledge and find themselves in that situation. So I think that is the bigger conversation that this thing is causing me to want to have.
I mean, we talk about rehabilitation. When a prisoner exits prison, one of the key indicators as to whether that person is going to be rehabilitated is their ability to find employment.
Yes.
And having a criminal record makes it exceedingly difficult. But I think the key thing is, even if they cannot become a teacher, certainly other avenues are open to them in terms of being able to seek employment.
Yes, but at the same time, if it is that we're talking that there are certain professions where your character should be unimpeachable, and we know professions where we expect people's character to be unimpeachable and where there should be no stain against your name, the legal profession. If you are a member of the bench, so the bench, the bar, in the clergy, people in the classroom, people who are your primary healthcare providers, your health professionals, there are certain groups of people that in an organized society you expect that you should be able to assume without investigation that these people are beyond reproach, never go before justice so-and-so, never been hauled before court, never got courthouse before. So you expect that. Should we change that? Should we relax that expectation? Should we modify the expectation in certain areas? And should we do it for teachers? It's a big question.
And interestingly enough, the Solicitor General, Marlene Aldred, also urged caution when taking away a person's livelihood permanently. She recommends that this be limited to criminal convictions for the moment.
But to go back to the bigger issue, and I understand Dr. Gordon's views, but I think her views are in the context that there would never be a full disqualification of a teacher. But I think, from my understanding, the committee has taken that decision that for some offenses, this person can never, ever re-enter the classroom and never, ever be able to, they could apply, but they would never be able to be considered for registration. In that situation, and I note the member has been referring a lot to fairness. It's a very harsh penalty to take away someone's livelihood forever. And so I would suggest that you go with a shorter list for now. You see how that works. You have a review, as you pointed out, Minister, you have a chair, you have a review mechanism in your law. You see how the law works over time. I would suggest you keep that list very short. And it should be of the most egregious sort of offenses: murder, kidnapping, treason. We have acts that will list some very basic but very egregious offenses. I would suggest you take that route and see if, and when you're doing the review, you will then see what has happened during the period. Is it that there have been issues with persons who were convicted coming back in and creating problems or not? You may want to revise that list. And even with that list that I'm suggesting, you could still have a mechanism. So you would put the list in a schedule, and you would also say that the minister has the power to amend that schedule by order, subject to affirmative resolution. But I would really suggest, rather than including things such as, as egregious as, look, it is wrong if someone has been convicted of a criminal offense and think they can just walk right back into a classroom. But it's not an automatic process. But to say that you're going to take away their livelihood forever, it really should be only limited to the worst of the worst. And in that list, I'm not sure. I would suggest that you consider just criminal convictions for now, and leave the other matters to the other mechanisms that are available. So that's just my suggestion, Chair.
Reasonable. The Education Minister, Faithful Williams, she appeared to defend the work of the ministry, and in a back and forth with the Solicitor General, she argued that teaching as a profession must be treated with utmost seriousness.
Again, since, you see, to me, it would be different if the committee's decision was not that if you have committed it, you would never re-enter a classroom, you would never be able to register. And this could have an impact for you, not just in Jamaica, but elsewhere. But the committee's decision being what it is, just taking, again, the same Anti-Gang Act that Ms. Wilkins spoke of, I don't know that you should punish someone who was a part of a criminal organization, the same as someone who was convicted of leading, managing, or directing that criminal organization. To me, if you were the head of a gang, or you were recruiting children.
But no, come on, guys, we're being soft on crime right now. We're talking about children in a classroom.
No, so that's why I'm saying those persons should be barred. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. That the person who was recruiting the child, but I don't think you would punish that person the same way
as someone who may have been a member.
But
because
there's no in between.
Yes, but there is, because remember, this is the extreme punishment that you're going to mete out to someone who wants to be registered as a teacher. Remember, you have other mechanisms in the law. You have a lot of other mechanisms to deal with persons who may have run afoul of the law, but then you're going to give them an opportunity years later to be able to submit an application and be considered. And just because they're being considered does not mean they will automatically be registered. So, Chair, and then even if you don't take that point, so because you stole and destroyed fish, it means that your livelihood should be taken away forever. I think that's very harsh.
Whose fish you stole and destroyed? Somebody else's,
yes.
Right?
But I'm saying, and that is a reason
depriving
why
those persons of a livelihood.
And so that is the reason why 30 years later you also don't get to earn a living. And then how do you contribute
not as
to
a
society?
teacher. Teaching is not the only profession.
Wow. Okay.
Teaching is not the only profession, and we are saying, find another profession. We have to be serious. Come on, when lawyers, if you're a lawyer and you are disbarred, do you go back? It depends, right?
So this goes deeper. Yes. Would you accept a member of parliament was a criminal conviction?
Unlikely, no.
The country wouldn't, because we love beat up politician more than anybody else, right? So we are saying, so you see, look at the example of the fish. So someone might look at it and say, but it's a simple thing, you kill some fish, so what's happened to that? So the person who sells fish
has lost.
Hold on. The person who says, so you've contaminated the water, causing the fish to die. I catch the fish and I got the fish. The fish was dying, but I catch them, I not even realize that. I sell the fish to you. You die as a result of the fish I sold you. See the chain? Yep. You poison the water. I catch the fish. I sell the fish to you. You die. I am under the microscope for causing your death. But at the same time, we look at that and say it's a low-grade offense. It's not. It's not, because the ramifications of you doing something to cause the fish to die, it's extensive, the ramifications are. And I'm saying, I asked the question rhetorically, Mr. Campbell, are there certain professions which we're going to say should be peopled or populated by people of unimpeachable character? I believe teaching should be one of them. I'm sorry.
And I would agree with you that there should be a certain level of standard required for being a teacher. But I find it very hard to say that, and yes, I get the whole matter that certain things have knock-on consequences. But as I said, stealing someone's Dalmatian when you were 19 and you turn your life around and say, all right, I want to teach. Should that disqualify you?
Killing a man at 19 and then saying I want to turn my life around, what's the difference?
That's entirely different in terms of
I'm just saying. No, but so my stepfather was beating my mother, and I waited until he was drunk one night and I killed him. I killed him with noble intention, but I did commit murder, and I want to turn around. So I'm just saying.
But if you went before the court with that argument that he had been a menace to your family, wouldn't the court take that into consideration in your sentence?
Yeah, but perhaps the court would say, I don't want to get too far away from the point, perhaps the court would say, well, there are other things that you could have done, but you chose the terminal one to end a life. I'm just saying, we need to make up our minds, Mr. Campbell. Are we saying that for teaching, we should allow people with criminal records to work in the profession, continue working, or to enter? Or are we saying we're going to exempt teaching, take teaching out of the sacrosanct professions where we expect the people to be of unimpeachable character and lump it with the rest?
And that's an interesting question. Do you believe that that is how we've treated the teaching profession to this point?
No, because I still think that Jamaicans hold teaching sacrosanct. There are standards you expect of your teachers that you don't mind if those standards are breached by people in other professions. But you say no when it comes to your teachers. Because guess what happened? No? I'm not saying it will happen in most situations, but a teacher with a criminal record who then goes on to do something bad to a classroom of students or to a one student, then it is brought up. You know that this teacher had a criminal record? Then the school gets attacked. How did you hire him or her? Didn't you know? And yeah, that's because that's what's going to happen.
So you think it should just be a cut and dry criminal record, not allowed to teach?
And especially because when we say not allowed to teach, not allowed to be hired by the Ministry of Education to teach, because there are many schools around the place, many people have their private institutions that people teach at. People who couldn't teach in a government school are teaching at those places.
But interesting enough, the JTC bill will make changes where that in terms of teaching, you actually have to be registered with the Jamaica Teaching Council.
Well, I tell you what, if I know that you can teach math and I have a math exam and I convene a group of 10, I put together a group of 10 and you teach us how we go and sit the exam, you've taught. Nobody can stop you from that. Yeah? So I'm just saying, we'll make up our minds. What do we want? Well, Government Senator Cavangale objected to some of the offences in the bill which disqualify a teacher from the profession.
What this is depicting, and it's clearly defining that once we put it in law, it means that you would have created a barrier to those teachers being able, at any point in their life, to participate in the profession or to carry out their career. And they are so wide, these offenses are so wide in nature. Again, under offenses at common law, public nuisance. I can play my music loud as a neighbor, and it was reported to the police and I was warned, but I would have been charged for public nuisance. Does that keep me out of the classroom as a teacher? Remember, we're having thousands of teachers with thousands of different minds. And as the Solicitor General has clearly indicated, there are other provisions within the application of the law to treat with any of these offenses. Internally, even the same role and function of the PPCC, if a matter has been brought before the council to be investigated and to be considered, the PPCC would make a decision on some of these issues. I don't believe, I saw the one with the fish kill. And yesterday there was a report in the media about a fish kill in the Bagua Gorge. So suppose a teacher may have been involved accidentally in a fish kill. It speaks to fish kill.
It would bar that person.
It would bar the person.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It's not going to define.
Exactly.
It's not going to define how the act took place. It's going to
It's not the mens rea.
determine that the act actually took place. Manslaughter. So you have a car accident that you hit down somebody and it caused manslaughter, and you are going to serve your term. But when you come out, it does that mean because the accident took place, you're going to bar that individual who was a party to an accident from continuing the profession. The result of the accident, the car accident, led to manslaughter. Someone died. Are you going to bar that individual from continuing the profession? So I'm saying that there are some offenses that are contained under what is being proposed that stretches itself too far in barring the person from becoming a teacher or from continuing to teach. And I would suggest that we consider those that are egregious in nature, those that are violent in nature, as part of the first instance of consideration.
These are very important discussions, Mr. Campbell. Very important discussions. Even though in these circumstances, it is never wise to evaluate the contribution, the strength of someone's contribution in an argument by virtue of the examples they give, because people speaking off the cuff, the examples sometimes are not the soundest. But if I may take Senator Gale at what he said about the public order issue where you're playing your music louder than your neighbor asks you not to, and then it becomes a police matter and so forth, if that should bar you. The point to be made in reaction to that is many of us are constrained in our actions by virtue of the offices we hold.
That's exactly true.
Because of the positions we occupy in the society. I would want to be able to, well, not I, but someone would want to be able to pull the car over like a regular doctor man or a taxi man does, and on Halfway Tree Road, and just flick out your you-know-what and urinate in Halfway Tree, as I see happen all the while. You wouldn't do that. Because, exactly, I can't do that because I sit here. Because I have to be commenting on certain issues, and I have to have a certain authenticity of credibility to be able to do it. So there are certain things that a teacher would not be drawn into because they know that, look, I am who I am. You're lucky, so I'm a teacher. I was going to answer you this morning, or whatever. But you see, because I'm a teacher, it's all right. Have a good day. That happens across many professions. There are many things many of us who want to do, but we are constrained because of the position we hold. It's not like you make up a name and go up on social media and tell people all kind of things. And you would never do that if people knew who you were, knew where you work. Yeah? You couldn't go, if you get the point I'm making, right? So I'm saying, I can't go with that argument from a friend, Kavan here.
I like that you brought that up, because if you recall, I'm not sure what time this year it was. I think it was about when the new Road Traffic Act came out, and Minister Vaz was caught on camera going through a red light, and the big furor about that. And if it was any other person other than the transport minister doing that, people would just brush that off and moved on.
Copy broke stop
but
every day.
Because it was a transport minister running through a red light, he had to give an account as to why that happened.
Yes. So, people, food for thought, and these discussions are very useful. Excellent contribution from all of the people who participated in the debate that we brought for you, because it is asking us as a country to think. And it doesn't need no argument, If you disagree with somebody, you disagree. If you have a different point of view, you have a different point of view. But it is all intended to bring us to a place that the society can function at its best by virtue of the decision we make. So these are the discussions that we need to have more of. Yeah? Break time. We'll come back. Siobhan, phone time?
I believe we have one more discussion regarding Bellevue.
Okay.
Let the countdown begin! Beat the clock, hurry up and go buy a Suzuki Tic-Tac. Purchase a Suzuki Vitara, Grand Vitara or XL7 from now to December 22, 2023 from as low as $4.75 million. And drive into the festive season with 5 years warranty, free vehicle tracking and free servicing. Act fast and beat the clock for this offer. Available until December 22, 2023 or while stocks last. Only at Stewart's Automotive Group, South Kent Road, Kingston and Iron Shore Bay. Everything must go! We're open Saturday, December 2nd, 9th and 16th. Conditions apply.
This Christmas, start something truly special when you open a homeowner's savings plan or HOSP with CIBC First Caribbean. First step is to set your savings goal and timeline and save towards it with a preferential interest rate. When you hit your goal, HOSP will help you jingle all the way home with a mortgage discount and even an additional loan towards closing costs. 'Tis the season to save for your home. Give yourself the gift of getting started with CIBC First Caribbean.
Just in time for the festive season. Rosa's Gourmet Outlet is now open at 53 Upper Waterloo Road, Kingston 8. Their gourmet outlet is offering discount prices on Christmas hams and wines, fresh and smoked meats, sausages, cheeses, baguettes, chocolates, and more. Call 876-810-5113 for more info or visit them at 53 Upper Waterloo Road and enjoy tasty deals this festive season.
Everybody, let's go! Join Nationwide at 5 as they broadcast live from the tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14 from 6 to 8 p.m. Under the distinguished patronage of His Worship, the Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, the KSAMC will host the City of Kingston's Christmas tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14, 2023, inside St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston. But wait, there's more! After the ceremony, enjoy a massive concert featuring performances by Ding Dong, AJ Brown, Pablo YG, Joan Flemings, Kukudu, 450, and a host of other artists, hosted by Miss Kitty. That's a live broadcast during Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, December 14 at St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston, only on Nationwide at 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation.
As the Yuletide season draws near, the Bellevue Hospital is appealing to families to visit their loved ones at the institution. The hospital's boss, its CEO, Suzette Buchanan, says the stigma attached to mental illness, which often prevents people from visiting their loved ones, is disheartening. She's urging people to not let fear prevent them from spending quality time with their loved ones in this holiday season. She joins us this evening. Good evening, Ms. Buchanan.
Good evening, George, and the other members of the team. Good evening, Jamaica. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man. Good to have you here. Make the case for those who know that they have their relations, their loved ones at Bellevue, have not seen them, not tried to visit them so far this year. And you know, Christmas is a particular time when people have particular kind of feelings. Make the case why they should come on down this Christmas season.
All right, so just to give you a quick background, Jamaica, we have approximately 500 clients here. Of that amount, 400, they are social cases, meaning that they have no families and no communities to go to. So some have been here for 4 decades, 5 decades. And so we are appealing to loved ones, family, friends, children, brothers, neighbors. Hop on over during this Christmas season and give them the family they have been yearning for over the years. I mean, as the Bellevue family here, we give them amazing support because we are the only family that they know. But sometimes, not even sometimes, George, so often they will let you know, CEO, I have not seen my son 20 years since my son dropped me off. I haven't seen my aunt, my mother, my sister, my uncle. This is very, very important, and I want Jamaica to know that social support forms a very integral part of their recovery when you have a mental health condition. So we're appealing to the neighbors, the friend, the auntie, the uncle. Hop on over this Yuletide season. Christmas is for family. Come visit your loved one. Remind them how much you love them and you care about them. And of course, sometimes when they see your faces, I tell you, it does a lot for their health.
But certainly, it's also good for the relatives themselves. I mean, it must be good and soothing for the soul heading into a new year to actually be able to see a family member, even if they're suffering from mental illness. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll tell you this much. I'll give you a situation. In recent time, a young lady who has been mute for over 20 years, she was visited by a loved one and she suddenly began to speak. And that tells you the power of family. And as you mentioned, it does something for you because you can witness their growth. This is an opportunity for you to see how they have progressed. Because the person that you brought here a year ago or 20 years ago, they have progressed so well. You will be marveled. It's not the person you brought here or you sent off many years ago. They have changed drastically. And we want you to be a part of their growth and their progress. And they want you to be a part of this progress as well.
You know, Ms. Buchanan, I get the impression that some people don't go to Bellevue to look for their loved ones because somewhere in their minds they think that if they do that, you're going to take their information and then drop off the person at their house and put the burden and the responsibility on them.
All right. You know what, George, and I can understand that concerns. The Jamaicans have a concern. The concern is a valid concern because when they go back into the community, sometimes as family members, we do have a challenge in how we challenge in taking care of these loved ones. But what I can tell you, what we're talking about, George, here, these are discharged patients that are stable and ready to be reintegrated into society. However, as you've mentioned, the concern is that we might not want to take them back. Not at all. Not at all. We understand the restriction. We understand the constraints. We understand what you have expressed, that you don't know how to take care of them. And that is one of the reasons why we provide family support group. But separate and apart from that, George, once you come and you visit, all we want you to do is to show your face. That is for another forum. But this Christmas, I'm appealing to Jamaicans, come visit. You do not have to take them home, even though they're discharged. I will emphasize that.
Yes.
As I mentioned, there are social cases. But come and visit them. You do not have to take them home. What we want you to do is to play a part of their rehabilitation. And a key part of their rehabilitation, it is social support, seeing a familiar face, sitting down and chat. Sometimes when you take them all down memory lane, that helps with their recovery as well. Seeing a familiar face, sharing a childhood experience helps with their recovery. So that's all we're asking Jamaica. We're not asking those who have, as I mentioned before, we've had a number, over 400. Some of them have been here there's one young lady, she's been here from she was 13 years old, and she is 56 years old. So that gives you an idea of the years that many have been here. We're now saying to you, come, be a part of their life. They are bundles of joy. As we speak right now, we're having our carol service, and you can see. I can't express how joyful they are just to see persons who are from the outside here.
Question for you: suppose it is that there are people listening who say, you know what, I'm going to take my family just to look for some people at random. I don't have anybody at Bellevue, but let's go. Can they coordinate that visit? What do? Are they welcome?
They are welcome. You know, in our bid to remove the stigma or reduce the stigma that is attached to mental illness, I am not sure if Jamaicans are aware of the U Park. That's our therapeutic garden that is open to the public. We have entertained a lot of various government ministries here, corporate mingle and all of that. This is in an attempt to say, hey, we are here. We welcome you. So if there's a group in particular that would like to visit us during this period or at any time, they are welcome. This visit can be coordinated through my office, and they can just come by, say hello, probably bring a gift, or come pray, come sing, come and just experience.
Yeah.
The family at Bellevue Hospital.
Speaking about the stigma attached to mental illness, when people conjure up images of Bellevue in their mind, they see people in straitjackets crawling on walls and shouting like they're stark raving. But certainly that people can expel that image from their minds and not be so discomforted from visiting a rehabilitating hospital.
You're absolutely correct. Remove that image, discard it totally. Bellevue, it's a beautiful community with beautiful people. Our grounds are beautiful. There's been vast improvement in the last 3 years. Minister Tufton has been focusing on this institution, and there is just a lot happening. We have an occupational therapy department that is booming. Our staff, we have a lot of occupational therapy interventions that is taking place at Bellevue. We've been hosting a number of events. We've been having a lot of family gatherings here. It is a beautiful environment, beautiful people, and they're certainly not walking around in straight jacket. They're in their wards. And of course, on scheduled days, they come into the therapeutic garden and they have activities, whether it's sip and painting or whether it's partying or just dancing up a storm. We do. Those are the activities that takes place at the Bellevue Hospital. And so if you haven't had the Bellevue experience yet, we are inviting you during this season to visit the leading psychiatric hospital in the English-speaking Caribbean.
Thank you very much for that, Suzette Buchanan. We wish you and the staff all the best and enjoy the carol service for us.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me. Bye, Jamaica.
You're welcome. That's Suzette Buchanan. She's the Chief Executive Officer at the Bellevue Hospital. It's a real thing. If you have the time, bring the family down. Just to, if it's even one old lady or old man to just talk to. Yeah, just spend if it's even half an hour. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make an appointment to bring my family just to have I don't have anybody there, I'm certain, but you know, I've had a few friends who've had mental illness. Before having that experience so close to me, I just said, you know, people mad and move on. But having people close to you with that issue, it changed my perspective. Listen, I had a friend who was a top scientist at the UWI. He even went to Montserrat when the Soufriere Hills volcano erupted and they sent him to do studies and things. Brilliant fellow. And he became mentally ill. And to see that man degenerate was one of the most difficult things that I've seen. And somebody who's extremely well read, very well informed, the difficulty with a person like that is when you are giving them medication, they're telling you why the medication is not good for them and insisting you can't change a mind like that because they're saying, oh, you think you can trick me? I know about these things, and he gone into the chemistry of what the thing does, blah, 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 blah. And it is so difficult to get through because of the defenses they put up, and degenerated until he died. Tragic. So I've seen it at close enough quarters. They need support. So if you can, this holiday season, please, begging you. All right. Break time now, Siobhan.
And then we'll come back, and now we'll take your calls. It's 630-937-124 and 618-8255.
The Watchman. Exploring issues shaping our society, government, and business. Provocative, unconventional. Dr. Henley Morgan is The Watchman.
Good evening. If you can't vote for a party, vote for a person. I have a soft spot for politicians. Born into the family of a preacher politician in the then constituency of South East St. James, I have vivid memories of the drive from Montego Bay up the hill to the Baptist Manse at Malden. A journey of 16 miles seemed to take forever because of the number of stops along the way to meet, greet, and listen to the needs of every Tom, Dick, Harry, and Jane. I remember the long days stretching into the nights with my father attending events from funerals to school functions to political meetings. I also remember how he left politics a broken and broke man. The cynics will say politicians have changed from what they were back in the day. Maybe so. I can't, for example, imagine politicians of C.A. Morgan's ilk spending time drawing up a list of things that are not part of a member of Parliament's job. as some members of the Joint Select Committee of Parliament reviewing proposals for job descriptions of MPs and cabinet members are said to be doing. But the hardness of the job, the personal sacrifices, and the ingratitude have not changed that much. Retired MP, Cabinet Minister and Speaker of the House, Pernell Charles, in a December 29, 2019 Sunday Observer story, gave a graphic portrayal of the MP's job. I quote him, "There is no way $300,000 salary per month can compensate anybody who is truly going to want to represent a constituency. They come to your office every day with medical bills, those seeking help educating the child, providing books, uniform, transport, and food. Plus, you have to assist those who are not working. The politics that we play in Jamaica is not executive politics, where you drive past and wave. The politics of the day is, I will vote for you if you can assist me with my difficulties, and I promise to assist you if you vote for me. So when I win, I have to hide." End of quote. Turned off by party politics, many Jamaicans see no virtue in politicians or value in political representation. A minority, the electorate, vote in national elections, local or general. There's no perfect politician, but just like back in the days, there are some who unflinchingly do their work as MPs or members of the cabinet. My favorite is Olivia Babsy Grange. Articulate and engaged, she leads from the front. Desmond Mackenzie, another protege of the late former Prime Minister Edward Seaga, brings a no-nonsense approach to his work and retains enough of the street swag that makes him appear authentic and grounded. Edmund Bartlett is one for the annals. The consummate marketer who also gets things done. The consummate marketer who also gets things done locally with global impact. Mark Golding, I get to see up close. He represents the constituency where my work is based. A bright and decent man who has had greatness thrust upon him. Julian Robinson, my MP, is an urbane and temperate soul. Always shows up, but never shows off, as if better than those he serves. These are but a few. Voting is a privilege and a benefit of living in a democracy. In the upcoming elections, if you can't vote for a party, then vote for the better candidate. But vote you must. Think on these things.
Produced by Agency for Inner City Renewal, AIR, and recorded in the Jamming Studio Trenchtown, a breath of fresh air bringing change to the inner city.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
I earn hugs and rewards. I earn smiles and rewards.
Whatever you get from giving your gifts this holiday season is made even better when you use your Sagicor Bank credit card, because you'll earn rewards on every dollar you spend.
I earn.
Dad, you're the best!
Use use your Sagicor Bank credit card to do all your holiday spending and earn the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
Everybody, let's go! Join Nationwide at 5 as they broadcast live from the tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14 from 6 to 8 p.m. Under the distinguished patronage of His Worship the Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, the KSAMC will host the City of Kingston's Christmas tree lighting ceremony on Thursday, December 14, 2023, inside St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston. But wait, there's more! After the ceremony, enjoy a massive concert featuring performances by Ding Dong, AJ Brown, Pablo YG, Joan Flemings, Kukudu, 450, and a host of other artists, hosted by Miss Kitty. That's a live broadcast during Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, December 14 at St. William Grant Park, downtown Kingston. Only on Nationwide at 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation.
It's 7:36 and we're taking your calls. Errol, you're on the line. Good evening. Errol, you there? Looks like we lost Errol. Cleveland, what's up?
Yes, sir. Not bad enough, but I listen now. Tell me something. Can anybody tell me if CVM is off the year?
No, man. We're watching CVM now as we speak.
I don't know what happened here then up the side. I wonder if up the side something is wrong.
Well, we can.
From there, even I'm not seeing CVM.
We can report that here in halfway tree. We're seeing
and the
bright
worst
and
thing
clear.
about it is that the child have to watch the match on because I lose both sports marks because they have some changes. And I'm having hell to get the thing changed over. Because it was my daughter named the cable thing. And them want a arm and a leg for you to bring in. For them to change. I go there up to Monday and tell the people, them say, look, I want to change it over to my name because I'm missing out on some of these things that Postmax then will bring on also.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're telling me.
Why don't get the app? Why don't get the app?
Well, let me watch what happened because my daughter sent a letter to my son to go and get the change and so on. He never get the time to go. So that's why I go to them and tell them, all right, I will do it on my own, then take it in on my...
Anyone of your grandson at home with you?
Yes.
Tell him to put on the app for you on your phone. And you're all right. Problem solved.
Yes, all right.
Simple
Anyhow,
as that. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, our people need to learn a lot of things, you know. We'll need a lot of teaching because the Prime Minister put out about, he's going to look into about the eight talk.
Eight speech.
And people is taking it as it's a done deal. They don't know it's a country run. Sometimes people, the leaders, they put out these things to see what we're thinking of it. When you hear somebody comment, you wonder.
Yeah, but this is, I think the Prime Minister did this deliberately to hear what people are saying so that when it comes time to craft, they know what, and then of course it will go to a joint select committee, the public will be invited to make contributions. So everybody who wants to have a say will have a say as far as I know.
Yes, but I don't think some of the people get it that way. You know?
Cleveland, I don't know if are you on social media?
Yes.
Do you see some of the things that the people them say on Twitter and all them things their daytime?
Yes. Yes. Trust me.
We need it.
That's well, maybe it's a good and bad thing for social media, but I just tell you how some people thinking.
Yep. And it's never the ones, and this will you'll always hear me say this. It's never the ones who you can verify that him is him or she is she is. Always the one them hiding, the coward them. They speak the worst about people. Yeah?
George and Siobhan. We don't need to talk to Mr. Bunting, you know. Lord, I hate to hear that man talk about the crime and the murder rate in this country.
It's his portfolio.
You better understand the Cleveland.
It's a portfolio. You shadowing no Cleveland.
Yeah.
Come on. You know if they're not just put on them pride and join in with the government, I think would have better off. It would cut the crime.
Really?
Yes, sir. But these people who are doing these things seem like they're getting some help along the way.
What do you mean? The criminals getting help?
Because some of the statements them that come from different people in this.
You mean the criminals getting help?
Yes.
No, sir.
Like them getting support.
No, sir. Criminals are alone to themselves, brother. They're not getting help from a soul.
Come on.
They're just here to terrorize
You want to
all
tell
of
me
us.
if the devil should make the PMP win tomorrow morning?
The devil.
The crime going to stop same time?
Cleveland.
Crime going to stop
Cleveland.
same time,
Hold on, Cleveland. You've lived long enough to know that crime has been something that has bedeviled
Oh my
both
God.
administrations.
Trust
so
me.
yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, man.
Make somebody else get to say something.
Thank you, my friend.
Errol, here you there? You there now?
George.
Yes, sir.
Siobhan.
Evening.
Yeah. George. I have a little problem because one of them idiots will come in and I watch YouTube on the internet. You see it?
Yes. You mean the nationwide YouTube?
No.
Okay.
The flow.
Yes.
But you know you have the political thing in the panic.
Yes.
Me see a little man and a woman, me not even the catch it when him name. And him a chat, Angel should have could call the election at conference because Angel is saying low. I mean, if you know that man, I don't want to see it.
So somebody said that the Prime Minister didn't call the election at conference because he's going to lose?
Yeah, the man. And him a read out that page that thing.
Oh, well, Errol, not trouble yourself with that because that's rubbish.
Him all say, Chris Hughes Japan, Angel side and Chris Hughes who much
See
bigger
there?
than the chat.
That's why I said to you, Errol, you should have saved your data that you used to watch that because that is rubbish.
I'm someone get it from when I was in a job.
Come on, that's a rubbish, man.
If you see it and know the man they want.
The problem with the media as it is now and the internet age we're in, every jackass have a way to go online to talk about all kind of things, and they do. Yeah, and some of them, they try to get your attention. They try to bait you into quarreling with them. I don't know how I can quarrel with people like that. And it's just rubbish. Errol, you're a man who was lived a long time. You know right from wrong. You know sensible things from foolishness. There you go. There you go.
So it's a little money I talk about we all buy people become a conference here, 10,000 and 15. Maybe I say, I lock everything in a man.
Yeah, man, lock it off, man. Rubbish, man. Rubbish.
When I talk about click the power side and click how much it tax and
please. Listen, the number of people who are jealous of that man, the line long, could have full up stadium 10 times over. But with them still.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I the first I got conference and I car park way up at the total gas station up where McNeil's car place is the first until the Chinese have it now.
Yes.
I'm walk, brother.
Your foot it got conference.
I tell you, man.
Yeah, man. All right, my boss. Respect Errol, man from Denham Town. All right, good. Peter. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, nationwide crew and everybody. Sir George. And you're going to talk to tonight, Siobhan.
Yes, man.
Evening,
Siobhan.
Peter. What's up?
Where the man they come from? Well, no, where he come from. Let me tell you where he come from. That man with it, I can tell you that Pete Duncan is a mouthpiece of the JLP. You remember him?
I remember him, yes.
Well, I tell you, say, Siobhan, if I was a professor, he was in my class, you would need to come back to school for graduation, no matter those mark you want done, you know.
Why is that, sir?
Now, I tell you, man, because the answer where you give, you know, sorry that he was online with you to hear the answer you give him. What a fool. I used to listen to that man named Ralston Hyman. Ralston Hyman, his name, no?
That is Mr. Ralston Hyman, yes.
I used to listen to him sometime long time ago, you know, I used to talk to Mr. Perkins, you know. Mr. Perkins used to laugh after him. You know that laugh Mr. Perkins have? Oh. You know that laugh. When Mr. Perkins used to question him and give Mr. Perkins the answer, Mr. Perkins used to laugh after him. And I think one time Mr. Perkins asked him where he graduated, if he's an economist or whatever. And up to today, they have to give Mr. Perkins the answer, you know. Then Mr. Perkins dead gone. So he can't stay there, go on with Ralston Hyman teaching. He can't go on with it. Man, I don't know how. Anyway, leave that again. That don't right this now. George. Mr. Davis.
Mm-hmm.
My MP, Mr. Chin, Robert Chin.
South Manchester.
South Manchester, exactly. You remember about the gutters to get up on road, that road there?
Yeah, man.
And those hole and thing, and patch them out, man. Lovely and nice, man.
All of them
Lovely
patch?
and nice.
When them patch?
They patch, I think one sometime last week, you know.
Good, man. That's very good. That's about 2 weeks ago you called and highlighted the situation, eh?
Yeah,
man.
Right. Yes, man.
Quick reaction.
Yes, man. And I mean, man, and Mr. Robert Chin and our councillor caretaker, Martin Gilman, they're doing marvelous things on the road, man.
Hear you, sir.
They're working, man.
Hear you, sir.
They're working, man. And when we want to finish that pipeline down to New Forest now and then get the road fixed back and everything good, you know?
Yes.
Yes, man. You must go get a piece of place on the country you live in a job. You can't just live in
You
a
know,
you don't want to enjoy yourself with country breeze, man.
Let me tell you, I tell people that, you know, Portland is spectacular and thing. Portland nice. But to me, the most beautiful part of the island I've been blessed enough to have been everywhere. When I worked at NEPA, I was driving all over the island to places I only read about. But
You know you're from NEPA too, you know, George.
Eh?
And I know you're from NEPA, you know.
There you go.
But you don't know me still.
The prettiest part of Jamaica I've ever seen is down in Southfield, St. Elizabeth, when it's rain time and down the green up.
Tell you,
Jeez,
man. You know the place, man.
mercy.
You know
No, sir. Southfield in St. Elizabeth, different from everywhere else, brother.
Yeah, if you come there, when last you come down there?
About last year. It was last year. Last year.
Well, you see, when you come from Junction side, go right down, you see the type of houses and things over that.
Yeah, man. And then when you go further, you go Lover's Leap and the breeze. Hey, I'm afraid to go up the side because the breeze strong.
Yo, me I tell you, man.
Shavan can't call me because Shavan have more meat. But look at me. Don't ever hold on tight, man. The breeze. No, sir. The place nice, man. South St. Elizabeth is... Boy, I tell you.
That's why we don't want no crime and violence coming to St. Elizabeth. The both St. Elizabeth and Manchester. I don't like what go on section or some section of Manchester, you know, because they're two nice parishes now.
Yeah, man.
Bordering parishes, you know.
True.
You know? I was going to tell you, big up to Barry White still. You know, you not have to listen to your program from America, you know.
Yeah, man.
I have to talk about nationwide. That's the best. Tell them, say, anytime they want to learn something or they want to know something, they must listen to Nationwide.
Yeah, man. Very well, sir.
Stop listening to some fools with people who don't know what is happening, don't know their history, don't know
Yeah,
something.
man.
You understand?
Too many dunces are on the media.
They say, I could have fling the phone through the window the other night with that man. I tell you, man, about Ralston. Ralston, my man, and God. Eh?
All right, Patch.
I get me so angry with the other night when I hear you, man.
Hold it, Peter. Hold it, man. Hold it together, man. We're running. We're running out of time.
God, that man is a PMP, you know. Don't hear me from many other program, my PMP.
Yeah, man. All right, sir. I hear you.
I think that was self-evident.
All right, sir. Thank you. Bud. Good evening, Bud.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing?
Good.
First, I want to say hello to my neighbor.
Who's that?
You're not going to ask me who it is?
Who's that?
Cleveland, man.
Ah.
Actually, I don't know if Cleveland was living there when I was living up in Red Hills, but he said he lives in Kirkland Heights. I mean, he lives in
Sterling Castle, I think.
The road above Kirkland Heights.
Kirkland Heights, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still own the house there. My house is on Pimento Circle. I don't want to say the number. Next thing they're gonna look for, but it's rented now. Anyhow, the reason I'm calling is the discussion that you are listening to from the educators.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I left school in '74, so you know I've been around for a long time. But I didn't understand, is it something new that they're introducing to?
Yes, there's a thing called the Jamaica Teaching Council bill that they're trying to make into law, and they're trying to put they're trying to shape it in a manner to be truly representative and a governing piece of legislation for teaching and teachers, the profession and the professionals. So this Joint Select Committee is straightening out those important bits to make the law workable, if to put it in plain language.
Yes, so how long has it been around? As I said, I left school in 74, and I don't remember anything like that when I was going to school. So I'm trying.
The teaching council has been around for a while, man. It's been around for a while, but the bill, as in the title, the bill is not yet law. So there wasn't this law before, but they're developing a law, and we're at a discussion stage of that, the deliberation stage.
Yeah. Now, did I understand, or from what I was hearing, that some people are against it? Some of the people in the meeting.
No, man, they're not against it. It's just like you and I come up with a set of ideas, and then we go to another group of friends to say, okay, which one of the ideas makes sense? Which one needs to fine tune? Which one we can go with as is? So that's what they were doing today, yesterday rather.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to understand because I wasn't sure exactly if I was confused or something. But yeah, thanks for listening to me.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. Thank you, bud. East Central, Chevron, you're virgin, no.
East Central,
evening East Central. Which assignment do you have for Chevron this evening?
I am in the busy town of Clarendon this evening.
Wait, East Central, this is not another report, please.
No, I'm not doing a report this evening. I'm not doing a report side.
But Clarendon is not a town, East Central. Where you at? Where the Maypen or the Chapperton? Where there?
Maypen, me there, man.
Okay.
Yeah, me talk.
Talk to me.
But they're right across from the KFC and the total this have a little drink out.
Oh.
But time for go down now, so I leave, go back down. Yeah, man, so me enjoy my day up here today. And it was nice being in Clarendon today.
How long it take it to drive to East Central?
Oh, when me just check the Google, if me use the highway, 2 hours and 41 minutes. If I use the old road, it's 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Oy. All right, take your time. I hope you don't drink too much in the bridge. You need to see the road. Take your time.
Yeah, man, I just thought because the parish is supposed to honor SOE detention to not do.
Yes, man.
Oh. And at 8 o'clock, I need to leave out.
Make sure you have your papers. Because squad is stop you can explain where you were and where you're going.
You know what? Better if I come off our phone and come.
Yeah, man. Take your time, East Central. All right, cool.
All right, thanks very much.
Yeah, man. Somebody on YouTube, news commentator says, EC, you're going Clarendon, going get D. I don't want to say that, but news commentator, behave yourself. All right. So, Chevron, it's been this is a period of not a lot of news activity. Parliament goes on break when? This week is the last stuff.
Next week will be the last sitting of Parliament.
The sitting on Tuesday?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So they're going up to the wire.
Yes.
Right. So next week, and then but we may not have Senate beyond Friday.
Unlikely.
So okay. So the House, and then of course there are certain committees that will sit next week as well. Perhaps on Monday.
I believe this might be the last sitting on the committees this week, and then there will no committees next week.
Okay, they go off on their Christmas break. All right, so that's where we are. Tell us how it is Christmas. I heard our friends on the morning show talking about the fact of lights. Not many people having Christmas lights anymore, purely down to the cost, and the certain things that were traditional at Christmas not being so anymore. People whitewashing the sidewalk, stones at their yard gate, just sprucing up and things. People still do that, but for every generation, Christmas as adults is not the same as when they were children. And they make it sound like a lament, like, boy, look how things change. Remember they little this, that, and no, but it's just all of us. Christmas is not the same for you as an adult as it was.
Certainly not.
Yeah, so it's just a generational thing.
Responsibilities require that you adapt. And we adapt.
Yeah. Last thing I want to ask you about, Chevron, is this discussion on the Santa Claus in the studio. Because I heard some of the YouTube people, them wicked, they say something look like Chucky. No. I don't want to move Cliffview Santa Claus because I hear him bring it down here to the studio. What's your impression of it?
I get a good look at it. I see where people coming from. Honestly, it look a little strange. Well, I never see the Santa dress up in it. What kind of what's that? Gold? I think that's gold, white gold, yeah.
White and gold. No, it kind of look. It's the kind of thing that
the YouTubers are not fond.
It kind of thing that will make a guy a bit afraid for sleep. Yeah, I know. What? So, yeah. So, it looked like Chucky Vichu?
I wouldn't go so far. That's a bit mean.
Anyway, you know what? We're gonna wrap early and go away. Andrew, is there a Christmas song? Fab Five's Christmas song talking about breadfruit and all those nice things, you know? Give us that to take us home, no? Siobhan, you want to thank some people while Andrew finds his song?
Why not? I thank the YouTubers for your engagement this evening. The listeners out there in Radioland, thank you for being with us this evening. Our tech up Andrew Glenn Anderson, who assisted us, and our super producer Dana Davey, and all my friends in the news and production department, led by Cara Powell. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
And my name is George Davis. We're trying to remember the song. You will never catch me playing a cricket match on ice. Nah. In the West Indies, every Christmas is a time for all to smile. There's no hope and no. That's the one. 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 Yes, but my producer is saying I can't sing. I've never pretended to be able to sing.
Which is shocking considering how much of a music connoisseur you are.
I listen. I can't sing.
Just like directors can't act.
There you go. Except Clint Eastwood. All right. That's it. Good evening.
And the red poinsettia and John Kulu and chatting together. Oh yes. Down in Jamaica, there's hot sunny weather and people are warm and friendly all the time. Now it's the Christmas season and the fun can't done. So have a joyful Irish Christmas in the sun. Shine Jamaican sun this Christmas day to show that Christ the King is here to stay. In this our country, our land of beauty, and that He'll keep us all the way. There is sweet reggae music and carols everywhere. On session galore, make sure you get your share. Let's enjoy Christmas. Spread love and good cheer, but don't overdo it. Leave some fun next year.